And we are live. Okay, welcome back to another episode of Survivors of Tarnstead. We're going to start in our usual manner of introduction. First up, we have Blackheart as
Carrick Marsh.
Cronus as
Shaxan Road Scala.
Pat Dennis,
Tilde.
Marcus as
Corvus Sodomas.
Sammy as
Gifton Brockgren. She did that's the.
I guess Rockring today.
She's Grace Steel. Gifton Grace Steel.
There's been fluctuating.
A few weeks away from your husband, and bam, you're thinking
Hey, it's in the past right now. I might not be married.
Yeah, I'm more surprised you're not using your proper name in the past.
Tobias as
Caspia's PS4
online as. Wait, hang on. We don't do that. Yep. And you got me, Yuli, as your friendly DM. Who would like to give the recap?
I'll do it.
Go for it.
Okay. Last time on Survivors of Tarnstead, we picked up where we left off, wandering off into the night and having to set camp, dwelling on the day's events where we had basically a town of defenders come after us because we're from Barast. As we were sitting there doing watches, Corvus and I believe Telde, while they were on watch with Shaxan, heard a strange scream in the middle of the night. The two of them took off into the wilds trying to find out where the scream was coming from, and all they could find was a really exciting looking scorpion. Telde found the scorpion, got stung many times, nothing really came of it, and I don't really know what happened to that scorpion. They came back to camp. Shax had made up extra defenses because he was uh-oh'd, and the party went back to sleep. There was a rousing just a bit later, as I believe Telde was technically on shift because he's on global shift, but it was like Telde and Carrick were on shift, and suddenly a body dropped from the sky, which set off Carrick's barky doggy thing, waking the entire party up. Carrick and Gifton then took off after a glowing red light in the sky, because earlier they had thought they had seen one of Hayden's angels climbing on a rock, and when Gifton tried to approach it, it didn't seem to do anything. They chased it through the air and had a conversation with it where it identified itself as one of many, which Carrick and Gifton decided that meant its name is one now, because we like to have a name for something that we address.
Apparently, the Borg have just ruined everything for everybody.
Yep, this is one of many, and one explained that it was basically trying to help, that it had seen some people, and that they had one of them had fled and gone one way, and he managed to basically pick up a straggler. He had tried to give salvation to the man he had dropped, but the man seemed resistant, which one seemed confused by, as Gifton did as well. And the two ended up returning in time for to watch the scene that had been unfolding. Telde, Shaxan, Corvus, and Cassie. Corvus had been trying to administer medical aid with Telde on the person who I guess was still alive. He had like an unnatural heartbeat, almost like a mechanical thing going on, but his body started to shift and strangely change, growing feathers and things all over the place, and he was begging for them. I don't want to be an angel. I don't want to be an angel. And then Cassie reached forward like she was going to calm the man, putting her hand on her chest, and then shocked the living shit out of him with a lightning bolt, also catching poor Corvus in it. She then followed it up by driving her blade with two hands deep into the man's chest, dragging him off into the night to bury him with her bare hands in the hard, cold desert sands and rock and hardness or whatever. She went off to go do that. The party kind of had a conversation. Gifton kind of got mad and just went to bed. Cassie went, and while she was burying, about 10-15 minutes after she was digging the hole, it took her a long time to dig the hole. It's like almost an hour of her time total to get the man buried. The head suddenly turned and was looking at her, and it talked, and it was a strange otherworldly voice saying, "Thank you, every soul is precious to us." And then Cassie got angry out there in the desert by herself, buried the man, and then came back, and then immediately had to go on shift for her own watch. The group continued on to the desert, the plain of glass, where they waited down the hillside until it was cool enough to travel. They used Bucky's as a gauge for when it was time to go. Bucky led us up. We saw the beautiful statue of the Sphinx who had died. Bucky and Klopp decided to stay behind because they can't go in. And they were going to watch everything. And Bucky had that look of like, it's only going to be a couple minutes anyway. It'll be fine. Because apparently time travel. Woo! And so we opened up the letter and the package that was left for us on our saddlebags. It was a letter from Hea, detailing that we had never run into her in the past that she remembers, and that we needed to keep it that way because it will mess everything up. It also had disguises for each of us to wear, which were in the form of necklaces, I believe, or amulets or something. Each one of us put them on, and we suddenly became our new guises. I became, you'll see. I lost the voice. I lost my voice. Okay. See, my name is Trixie, and I am a bit of the short girl, drow. We have Cassiopeia. She is now one of his blessed. She is very tall, very drow, but strangely green eyes. But she has a lot of tentacles now. She was a centaur before. I can see the jump, but that's a lot of tentacles. Corvus is now, he's a Duragar. They're a very short kind of a dark drow, or not dark, they're dark like the drow, but they're like what is it? Dwarf. That is the word. Yes. And then Telltale has a shell, and he looks like the little turtle things, but he's very tall. And they're kind of goldy. It's kind of like a yellowy one. There is Shaksan. He's a lizard man, but he's a very big one. I've only ever seen a little one, but because he was at the coffee shop. But that is a very big lizard man, and he has got like a headdress. It looks like he's got a big not antler, ram horns. And then the Karak really didn't change that much. He got taller, slightly better butt, I think, and he's got white hair and dark skin. He seems to be a drow as well. And as we went in, we talked to Sphinx, and she was very nice. She gave us a riddle. Gistin was very bad at the riddle, but you know, I'm okay with that because I am Trixie, and I do not have to worry about these riddle problems. But Cassie gave a very good riddle to the Sphinx, and she informed us that we were going to go see Emenam Talal. And he's in the town somewhere that we're at. And as we ended the session, we were coming out into the beautiful city where there are these big creatures like Lap that were running around, and they were big monsters, and they were helping and building and doing things. And there was just a bustle of people and creatures and things that we had never seen in our lives. And it's still hot because it's still Zaha.
Yes.
I have an inspiration, please.
You can have your inspiration. I will add that before reaching the desert glass, you made a little pit stop at a seemingly abandoned town, where you found a lot of blood and some abandoned things, some of which were helpful notes that may go into further use.
We found things that were very useful for the research of finding out where the Hexenreich group, it sounds like, has taken Telday's people, and the strange machine and factory that they are building up north, or were building. So we'll find out. Which, I guess, standard.
Right. So yes, you found yourself in what seems to be an ancient Saharan city. Gazing out upon it, which some of you have better vantage than others. You seem to be about 40 feet up off of the street level on the side of this building. On the, call it a balcony, although there's no rails or anything, and suspect by the way it goes around the corner, maybe it leads to stairways. It's hard to tell from here, but you can see similar construction on other buildings. So maybe a way down. Cassie,
I have a request of my friends. Do you think you can make sure you remember where this is so we can get back here? Because I would hate to get trapped in the past.
I believe that is no problem.
Okay, sorry. I'm sorry, continue.
Cassie, if you raise yourself even just a bit with your new appendages, you can tower above the group at least twice the height. More so when compared to the Duragar or even Gifton. So it's easy to get advantage for you. But most of you can see the sun is just about set now. Darkness is falling. And there seems to be a bustling activity about. On top of that, as it is getting darker, you can see glows starting to suffuse around the city. the large creatures you see towering off buildings, some moving heavy objects, seemingly putting stonework into place for new buildings, others just milling about, apparently inactive, but just moving, almost motioning at each other, start to glow, much in the way you've seen Klopp. And this glowing pattern seems to pulse across the city. Bright lights lighting up high above street level, and within the street level are smaller creatures as well. This wave of colour passing about and just seeming to get more and more active as night falls.
Why does it just get brighter? Ugh.
It is so beautiful. I can see why she wanted us to see her towns at night. They are so pretty.
Just,
Yes.
I've never seen anything like this. Is it like this in Hexenike? Does it light up?
I don't recall.
Out of character,
Fair.
would it?
It has a lot of artificial lighting in the major cities. Not quite as colourful. More stark, harsh, white, yellowish light. Modern street lamps.
Colourful.
Alright, well, what shall we do?
We're supposed to find this blacksmith who
Yes.
can work the metal, right?
Yes, but I am concerned about something. If we go asking around for him, and people say if they see him, they will send him to us, where will we have them send them? I mean, we should probably find some place. If it takes a few days, we may need a place to stay. And
Bigger
not-
issue.
I do not have any coin of this.
Bingo.
Yes, and I feel like we should solve that before we.
What?
Because once we do that, he was a blacksmith, right? We could probably start checking the forges and asking about.
If we don't have the proper coin, no. But the gemstones, they have no date to them. They are just gemstones of value.
And Cass is actually going to start moving down the pyramid.
Okay.
What did you say?
Bye bye.
How
We
you,
should
I
get
can resolve the
someone
coin.
other.
Oh, resolving coin. Okay.
We should get someone other than the one who looks like a priestess.
Is that what she is?
It actually may help that she's a priest.
Yes.
Potentially, we may not need coin with
They ask questions.
around.
Okay, it is not just me. He is
Actually turning around
talking
and seeing
quite
no
a
one
bit
move.
slower. That is correct.
Come on, my dears. Come on, come on.
Don't start with that.
She
Gonna
needs
shrug and
to
start
play.
following.
She needs to play the part.
Right, but we don't know exactly what that pot is. You don't want to give
And
any.
Cass is going to zip up to the Drogar and just kind of slither around. But my sweet, as she's now over top of him, looking at him upside down, we don't know the part, and neither did. So we won't know unless we play around with it. And she's going to tap him on the nose and then slither off.
Gifton.
Be a bit more inconspicuous.
She just
if
called
you-
Corvus my sweet, the fanfics.
Gifton's
Refueled.
eyes are like Gifton's got her little hands into fists in front of her, her eyes full on sparkle, and she just got that look of finally, yes.
They
Be a-
they may not
Boy.
also question the high priestess either.
Wait,
I know, but I don't also
Yes. I would like to make. Do I see Gifton doing the starry eye thing?
She looks happy about something, indeed.
Cass is going to suddenly spin around and move around again. This time she's kind of glomped onto Gifton. Well, my dear, that's a beautiful look for you. And then she's going to kiss Gifton's ear tip and slither off.
My husband is okay with this.
As you are all milling about, discussing your options, how one should behave and how one wants to behave, around the corner of this high up section you were on, come to drow. One male, one female, both just talking amiably with each other. They do seem to be wearing sort of padded armor. You can see some leather working into it, but it's very light, very breezy. They do seem to sport almost feline-like iconography. You can see that the little padded gloves that they've got just covering over half of their hand, coming up short of the fingers, does seem to have a fake porous shape to it. Their headdress has the suggestion of ears.
Fursuiters.
And as they come around the corner talking with each other, they pause briefly at the sight of you. And the female actually steps forward and goes, hello, priestess, it is
Hello.
nice to see one of you visiting the Temple of the Sphinx.
They're
May we be of service?
that makes sense.
Oh, yes. My friends here are from out of the city, and, well, as you can see, they have very little with them as their beasts of burden decide to liberate themselves, and all their trade goods have gone missing, so we're trying to find some place for them to stay the night, and perhaps a money changer so they can exchange a gem or two that they brought.
Well, it depends what quantities they wish to exchange. There are a few vendors that would be willing to do so, but of course you know the temple has the vast amount of the funds.
I do, but I didn't want to get the temple involved until we knew exactly what they wanted to do.
Well, if you're looking for a place to stay, there is a inn not 2 streets over that is quite accommodating, and I'm sure they will be overjoyed to see a wanderer return as well. She actually looks at you when she says that, Hatten.
I'm just going to faintly smile.
It has been
Nod.
at least
Expressions are a new thing for Hellday.
at least 5 years since one of yours has come by. I hope you bring good stories.
I know some. Yes.
She smiles softly and goes, well, if you will be reciting them, I will be sure to stop by.
That would be nice. Thank you.
And she smiles and bows her head a bit but yes, if you wish, I am sure many vendors would be willing to help you exchange, priestess.
Sorry, I missed that.
She looks at you and goes, but yes, I am sure many vendors would be willing to help you exchange your gems, priestess.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. All right, my dears, come on. We must get you settled for the night.
And when you say that, she looks a little bemused and sort of just steps aside, as does the male, moving to the edge side of the walkway. Doesn't seem too concerned about it. And they both just give a very shallow little tilt of their torso, a fake bow.
Daughter's blessings upon you.
And on you. And when she says that, she actually smiles very slyly at you, Gifton.
Corvus is watching their behaviors.
Oh, is that what the Durgar
Well-
call them?
Oh, well, both of you get this. Gifton, there's no natural faders, so you can easily see that she likes you. And yes, Corvus.
Gifton's giving a flirty little wave.
Corvus, she definitely likes it. She definitely likes Gifton, likes the sight of her at the very least, and seemed amused by Cassiopeia's treatment of them, as if unusual, but people have their tastes.
Hmm. And not priestesses would be as not so personal.
She didn't seem put off by it, just not expected.
Okay. No, okay.
You get the impression that she's assuming that there is some kind of a relationship going on here.
Ah, got it. Okay.
Yes, blessings of the daughters upon both of you. Daughters? Wow, daughters. Can't talk. It's been a day, sorry.
And they
I'm gonna very casually elbow into Cassie about that.
Oh my, that's an interesting sound.
Gift a little bit of a face palm as she's walking away.
I could definitely go rest my feet. So shall we find this inn?
Yeah, we should find out as much as it's going to task.
And Cass is going to disappear down the railing a little bit, and then a split second later, she's going to pop up alongside the railing.
You're having too much fun with
there
this.
is no rating, by the way.
Oh, I thought you said there was a rail.
No, it lacks a rail.
Well, she's going to pop up just below the walkway and go, oh, and daughter's blessings upon you both.
And on you, priestess. And
She's going to pop down.
you're all able to work your way around the pyramid, and yes, it does actually start to go downwards. Less stairs and more just tilting surfaces.
Twice a day.
Aliens really did make some wonderful things.
Mhm,
I mean,
Yep. As you're watching in the distance, one of these large clop-like beasts, or more solidly bodied tentacles, sort of coming off one end of it, and the limbs seeming to be able to split, placing large blocks down and helping construct. Aliens isn't too far off.
they must store a lot of grain in there.
Yes. But soon enough, you find yourselves down on street level. It's a strange sight. You can see what looks like to be lizard folk heading into domiciles, chatting tiredly. You can see weary, tired, not in a particularly sad way, just looks like some have been working. And it looks like a vast majority of the lizard folk are starting to call it a day. But even as the lizard folk start to filter out of the street, as you walk through, they seem to become less and less. They're replaced by more and more drow and duergar.
Day shift, night shift.
Day shift, night shift.
Diurnal and nocturnals.
Mm-hmm. And yes, you're going to head in the direction she pointed out.
Yes.
As you head that way, you pass through what you suspect might be a market street, although currently there's no real hustle and bustle going about. You just see people starting to open stalls up. Poles being pulled out to support fabric for little overhangs, stalls being set up. Generally just a soft chatter going about between some of the vendors. And you make your way through fairly unmolested, which is a stark difference to your trip through the current day Saharan port that you arrived in, where everyone seems to be trying to get your attention constantly. Now you're left fairly free to travel. And soon enough you find yourselves at what must be an inn, while the building style is drastically different than what you're used to. There's the familiar signs. Yes, actually. The front of it does seem to be a very solidly built overhang that could fit, you see 4 or 5 tables arrayed under it, just pillars supporting this stone overhang, sort of semi-outdoor sitting area that leads into a more solidly built building. Currently the door is open, wooden construction. The air-quote windows, not actually the glass that you're now used to on your modern buildings, just open holes with some wooden supports within them and shutters that can be pulled closed. They are currently open. You can see light coming from within. You can smell, you think, some kind of meat, lamb perhaps, and just the general buzz and chatter from within.
As we're walking, I will tell to the group, I only have gems that are tied to the demand of magic. So parting with these would be limiting on my capabilities, but can suffice for acquiring funds, to say the least.
Could sell my silver mirror if we need to, and I have several platinum rings that I had made at one point.
Cass is just kind of waving. Don't
Each
worry,
one is
don't
worth
worry.
about 50 gold pieces back home. I do not know what they will fetch here, but I have 6 platinum rings worth 50 gold pieces each.
Cass is just kind of waving. Don't
should not
worry.
need
I
much.
can help. I can deal with this for you.
Yes, please.
We could.
What are you intending to
also-
trade? Jackson saying that, looking at Castle.
Fewer rooms.
I'm sorry, Hatdan. What was that?
Sorry.
We could also get fewer rooms. There's that.
But what are you planning, Cassiopeia? Everyone has been interrupting you. I am sorry.
I have a diamond with me.
Oh, how much is it? Is it like a couple hundred gold?
Yeah, Cass is actually going to sweep in on Gifton again.
What?
Okay.
What did you say?
10,000.
Cassiopeia, that is a lot of money.
Why are you just carrying that around?
Rooting through her
See,
bag and
Have you checked your
stuffing the-
pockets to make sure nobody has taken that from you? We went through the streets of that very bad market.
Oh.
It's in the backpack.
I understand it's in the backpack, but
And
okay.
Cass
You
is
should
digging
not
out
be
her
trading
gem.
something of that size here.
Cass, you search through your backpack,
It's gone.
and there is this moment of anxiety as, oh wait, no, it was under one of your spare tops. Okay.
I also.
You-
Cass
it's
is
a bit-
actually pulling out the
but the
top, looking at it, looking at her. I don't think this is going to.
But you
puts it
need to-
back.
You need to trade that into smaller gems at the very least. But we do not need all of that.
I also have.
Cass is going to shove it into Gifton's hand. At this
Well,
point,
I'm gonna hot potato this to Carrick.
Jax is just going to
It
reduce
is.
2 gems from his pocket and go, you should be worth 100 or so each. We should not need much more than that to be here.
And I am going to
Yes.
offer Carrick the 650 platinum rings I had because I've been sitting on these since I was previously
But that's
a
for
cleric.
ceremony?
No,
No, warding bond.
Warding bond. Yeah.
I had them for that, and then I spent a ton of money making all these. So yeah, I'm gonna here. These would
my
fetch
more
maybe
rings.
10, 15 gold each. I don't know, but if you want to just see what you can trade for them, if I could get a little bit of pocket money, that would be great. But Cassie's
also.
gem. Do you want that in like a couple smaller gems and then some money, Cassie?
Do we not have the gym just out and about?
Um,
Put it at least in
Carrick
a
is
safe
probably
area.
As
covering it
you
up.
are all talking with each other, you hear a couple of figures coming out of the tavern. What looks to be 2 drowned men, just laughing, talking to each other. One has his arm around the other, and then they pause.
Gibson is got that doe-eyed look of that is the so cute thing.
They pause as they see your group, and they do seem to fixate briefly on Carrick. Although the eyes wander over to Cass, but then back to Carrick, and then the eyes wander again as they see Cass again. As they actually hurriedly move back into the tavern.
We may want to hold off, but I also have.
No.
I'm gonna palm
no.
the gem.
What was going on in their heads?
You really don't know?
You can't tell. You can tell they're probably anxious about
Yeah.
something.
You're trying to insight. All you can get is they seem to be briefly appreciating Carrick, and then seem very surprised to see Cassie.
Like scared, surprised,
Just
happy, surprised. Just surprised.
They probably went to go tell them you have a priestess gonna be
Yeah.
into your tavern.
And
That kind of
as
shit.
you are pondering that, is Carrick?
I'm putting that back in Cash's bag.
Big
The
diamond.
And as you're pondering that and putting away some of the goods you have on you, out of the tavern comes a Durgar, who is wearing a apron. They are very portly. This apron is covering quite the belly. He definitely has a lot of meat on his bones, and it's with you. That dark skin seems very flush. Seems to be fairly clean shaven, head bald, got a little bit of stubble on his face, but otherwise clean shaven. And he comes on out holding a rag that he's currently wiping his hands off on, and you hear him mumbling, "I'll fall sin as a priestess out here."
Hello, dear sir. Could we trouble you for a moment?
Yeah, of course.
Is this a good inn?
I would like to think so, in my humble opinion. It is a fine inn, but I may have some bias to that.
The bias is always appreciated. We are looking for a place to stay. We need to find the money changer throw. We have mostly just gems upon us. We do not have the coins. We had an accident.
And he, as you're speaking to him, he seems to be looking over your group. Notably, his eyes do linger on Haddan and Cassie. Haddan? Telday and Cassie.
That is correct.
That is correct.
And
My
he goes,
secret trick.
"You're all wishing to stay."
If there is room,
That is
if
the hope.
there is not room, we understand.
I
Probably be split up.
have rooms, but priestess, you'll forgive me, but we are not quite set up to accommodate one such as you.
The eyebrow goes up.
The beds are small. The rooms are small, and not as fitting of your station.
Structurally sound.
I actually have a feeling that they're structurally fine. She just takes up a
Not to
lot
say
of
that you are not
space.
welcome, but I must be honest.
Is it possible
OCC
to
thing
push
real
a
quick.
couple beds together for her?
Was it Toby?
What is the Sphinx's name again? I keep thinking it's
Aquila.
Aquila. Well, I don't think Aquila's guards would have recommended us here if they did not think you would be sufficient.
The temple gods, I wouldn't know why they would recommend me, but if you so wishes, as your friend here says, perhaps we can move some beds for you. Or we have some fairly nice cushions we could move to accommodate you.
That is perfectly fine. I am happy to take what you can provide.
Then please, and you, my handsome friend, you said you needed to exchange gems?
Yes,
Yes.
we'd have some money changer.
Well, I'm afraid I do not have quite the volume of coinage to exchange for gems, but he seems to actually ponder for a moment before going,
What?
Could we
What
perhaps
would,
overpay a bit for the
yes.
stay?
"Oh, you would not charge a priestess and a wanderer. You will bring a lot of attention to me.
It's with the rest of us are,
Yes.
pretty common.
They are your
We could overpay you.
companions, yes?" She says, looking at Cassie and Telday. He says,
Yes, they are.
"Then they are welcome in my
travelers.
inn. No charge. And to
You can try to earn a place if you'll allow.
if you would be willing to
Perhaps.
speak, then you would be doing me a great service, traveler."
Of course, it would be my honor.
And he seems actually very pleased to hear that. He gives you a beaming smile, and then goes, "Well, then marvelous. I shall."
Well, good sir. Would a exchange of gems be advised?
Well, Naima often handles gems herself. She He has a store not far down the street. Deals with gems and jeweler. Is often looking for good ones. She may have the coin you need.
There you go, Garrick.
Why don't I handle that?
Yes, why don't you handle that? Beatrix, will be here with Priestess.
Hand me what coins what gems
I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you my. Well, I gave him all my stuff. So.
I'm not only going to hand those rings that I can't remember what they were.
6 platinum rings worth 50 gold each.
There is also going to be handed a couple extra rings. I'm taking
Are
them
you
off
very
my
good
list.
at trading, my good friend?
I have an eye for details.
Yes,
Jack's
I
also hand over
remember
one
your
of the-
bedside manner to be quite lacking.
My friend, she is a honest merchant. She will give you a fair price for what you have.
Okay, then you can go ahead. Yes.
How many rings, Carrick, are you giving?
So, there's the ones from Beatrix.
Yes.
There's 6 rings.
6 platinum rings.
6 platinum rings worth 50 gold pieces each.
And then there's 2 other rings being handed in there.
Okay.
If I remember the GM telling me the gems I was given were only worth like 10 gold a piece.
Yes, they were very cheap.
But they were at 28, so those are worth 40 gold a shot.
Okay.
40 gold?
Yep, so I'm handing you 2 rings of those.
Yeah.
Okay.
Off my list.
And Jax is handing over 1 gem worth 100 gold.
1 gem of 100.
Just
All right.
flat out, it's one of the components I need for
I'm
something.
basically going to say if I get 50 gold per, I'm just going to pass that one to each of us because it was originally going to be a ring for each person. So.
And, you say your name was Beatrix, yes?
Yes, you may call me Trixie.
Trixie, I am Anwar.
Anwar, it's a very good pleasure to meet you, sir.
And I have the pleasure of addressing, and he just seems to look curiously at the lot of you.
I am Kalusa.
Kristen gets a worried look at that name because she's going to try to remember it.
My name is Rinson.
Vincent.
Smiles. Yes, this is my son, Lorenzen. He is a very dashing young man.
Your son?
Yes.
Hey, can see the resemblance, he says, as if not actually partially seeing the resemblance.
I take after my father more than my mother.
Corvus will give a short bow. Olga.
Because you're short.
Ha! I joke.
Yes.
Olga.
Olga.
And whom is the gem exchanger? Their name?
Naima.
Naima. Okay. And she's just down the street.
Could you type that, please?
I'm just doing it that way.
And
Naima, yeah.
There you go.
someone type his name to...
Even better.
Anwar.
Okay.
I was fully expecting the moment of, are you my Nama?
And he looks to you, Telday. And you, Wanderer.
I am sometimes known as Torday.
All day.
I'm glad I wasn't drinking there. I think I would have died.
Sorry, dusty travels.
And you thought I was joking when I titled that.
You hear a sort of internal facepalm from your little companion in your head then.
Oh.
Oh, win-win.
And you're on the priestess.
I'm Cassiopeia, the Star of Iron.
Cassiopeia. Unusual name, but beautiful one.
To the GM,
Mhm.
is there a any sign or anything on the tavern?
Yes, there is.
What it is. What is the name of the tavern?
God, you're making me open up my notes. I don't like doing that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I need records, though.
Okay, it's called So Many Records.
I mean, I'll write it down. Yes, that.
It is called the sweet succulent.
Nice.
When you say succulent, like
it's
like
like
cactus or
yeah.
like the food.
Succulent cactus.
Yeah,
Probably.
Like the food.
I think they're spelled the same way either way.
They're spelled exactly the same way, I think.
Considering
Succulent.
yes, considering that the sign seems to be a
Cactus.
cactus, you suspect it may be a little bit of a pun.
Mm-hmm.
Just a touch.
My good friends will see you in a bit. I will go see about these
We'll
gyms.
be here, Ulgar. Gifton's giving you a very stilted wave. Daughter's blessings with you.
And to you.
Please, come in. I shall get you some meals prepared, and we will see to getting the room sorted.
Thank you. Do you know of any smiths in the area?
Of any?
Smiths?
Blacksmith.
People who work the metal.
Metal workers. Yes, there are a few. Saladin is quite a talented smith himself. You'll find him near the Holy Temple. He is the main smith I know of.
Is there a man named Talal?
Talal? Oh, yes, Talal. He is on the outskirts of the city. Well, not so much a smith, but he does work the metal sometimes, yes.
I was looking to meet with him. He is outside the city, you say?
Many are looking to meet with him. He is apparently quite the man to talk to. But yes, he actually starts to walk out onto the street and just sort of puts an arm out to guide you as he does. Very friendly.
Oh,
Thank
you.
And he sort of just motions westward.
I don't know what that accent was.
I
will remember that maybe after we have settled in.
You'll find him on the western outskirts, across the river. He lives a little far from others. He has concern of his work affecting people.
I am assuming he is more of a day worker.
No, he works during the night, like most.
Most reasonable people.
Oh, he would not say that. I have many fine patrons.
Trixie is a week.
And he smiles. He smiles at you before looking over at you, Shaxon, and smiles. I appreciate the patronage of my lizard friends very much, but it is inconvenient sometimes.
It can be, yes.
But that is why we appreciate these hours where we can meet.
Yes, Priestess, shall we go inside? Psst.
Cass.
Your priestess. Toby?
Sorry. I'm having issues with my sound. Give me a second.
Priestess has been disconnected.
Priestess is... Yes.
Yep. Can you hear us?
Shall we go inside and get your quarters arranged?
Yeah. Katz is kind of looking towards where the Durogar disappeared off to. Somebody really should go with him to make sure he doesn't eat his shoes.
He'll be fine. You need to have more faith in him, my lady. Let him prove himself.
That's what I'm afraid of.
You have to let your sons go out into the world. It is an important thing as a mother.
It will
and as a priestess
be
for the
okay.
people who follow you, I think. Yes.
Katz is going to kind of zip inside.
She is a very priestess. I can barely keep up.
he
Get to-
Anwar gives you a sort of looks like he wants to be amused, but is worried about causing offence as well. That that feeling of trying to take part of an inside joke of a group.
Yeah. Gifton's got a semi-amused smile, and she just kind of claps a hand on his shoulder and goes, "Thank you so much for your patience, sir."
We're just part of this weird sect of hay and worshippers.
And he will lead you all inside. Inside it's quite warm and cozy in here. The ceiling is a little low. It's as if a dwarf built an abode and was willing to accommodate all the races, but only to a certain extent.
Short, like, am I ducking?
You're
I'm pretty sure
one of
I'm
the tall
ducking.
people. You're one of the tall people. Remember this, Carrick?
Yeah, I know. That's why I was asking. 'Cause we have someone taller than me, a lot taller. So I was curious where the extent was.
The ceiling is about 6.5 feet tall.
Ah,
I am definitely
Yes,
ducking.
you are
Cass is
ducking down.
Even in my normal form, I would be ducking.
Yes.
pretty sure Cash could just kind of like.
Yeah,
sink
Cass, you
down.
can easily lower yourself down.
Cass is sinking.
Yeah. But
Just to take advantage of that, he's more lever stanced at this point.
he guides you all over to a not a table. It's actually a couple of tables, but he motions as if feel free to move them together. And
How easily can I fit through the door?
the door itself is actually rather wide.
I have to let these people in.
Fit through.
Yeah, it's definitely made to accommodate people coming and going at the same time. But yes, he leads you all in and has you sit at the table. There's probably about 15 other patrons in here right now. Mix of Drow, Durgar, and even a couple of lizard folk who seem to be staying up a bit late to just mingle with friends. There isn't a separate kitchen. This all seems to be fairly open plan for the serving area. You can actually see a large fire, which is indeed roasting what looks like to be a goat on it, which might come as a little bit of a surprise knowing the iconography of the Haim religion, but there doesn't seem to be any issue with it.
Does it seem to have more than 2 eyes?
It does not, no.
Okay.
It's not the sacred goat.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for all we know, it could be just a standard thing here.
Sacred meat. Nom nom nom.
Yeah, a lot of the meat on one side of it is already gone. It appears this has been the main serving thing for a little bit. But he goes, please, you all hungry?
Very.
I would
Thank you very
appreciate a meal.
I'm gonna motion to Shax. And my friend, would you assist me with moving these tables together, please?
I can, yes.
And we'll.
And Jax will help move tables together.
As you're moving the tables, there is a lot of attention towards your group. Patrons do seem to be looking over. There's some gossip going on, it seems. But Anwar himself heads over towards this not sectioned off area, but clearly, hey, patrons aren't supposed to actually come over here themselves. There is a sort of countertop that he starts to pull these wooden bowls out, plates onto. There's another couple of Duergar there, look quite similar to him, and judging by the age brackets, likely more siblings than any progeny.
Listen, my son, go help that poor man.
Finish moving the table.
Sounded like he was rushing over there.
You lazy, no good son of mine. Get over there.
I'm gonna rush on over there and
as you rush on over, Amor actually gives you an amused look, somewhat sympathetic, and perhaps you can take these dishes over to your mother, boy. Here. And one of his brothers, you assume, is carving some of the meat from this goat, and it is starting to be piled up onto one central plate. There is another one being piled up with what looks like to be this sort of flatbread that has a strange red coating on it. Then
is it a familiar coating to me? Since I've had sumac at home.
Yes, I think yes. You suspect so. You haven't done a whole lot with it, nor have you applied it to bread. So, but it looks similar.
Okay.
And then there's just an assortment of little dishes done up with what looks like to be cut onions, other fresh vegetables, just a whole range of different things. You take these, boys. I shall bring the drink over.
Yes. In traditional Carrick method, he's carrying them all quite easily.
Yeah, and he seems to nod as a, yep, good boy, you're doing this well. And Carrick brings the food over, and shortly following him, shortly, is the Duergar, who comes over with what looks like to be an assortment of these wooden little mugs, which he sets down. No handles or anything, just smooth. They're rather short as well. Sets those down, and then this large oh no, the word Pori handled thing.
Ladle.
Pitcher.
Pitcher, thank you.
Ladle?
Ladle?
I can understand what he was thinking.
I can see the logic, yes.
Yeah.
Definitely not what I was looking for, though. I'm bringing it over one ladle at a time.
Nice for a drink.
Careful.
And he does set the cups down in front of you and starts to pour them before setting the pitcher down, leaving it on the table. Please, if you need anything else, do call me.
Thank you very much, Anwar. And I am certain that my son will help you clean up in a bit.
Well, that is very sweet of you to say. And he actually pats your shoulder, Carrick, with fake sympathy. But he's not objecting to her offer.
I mean, I'll be honest, Carrick was tempted to offer but didn't want to step on toes and get us in trouble.
I lean over to Carrick and I whisper, I know you were going to do it anyway.
And dear Wanderer, perhaps tomorrow you would be willing to speak for us.
That would be wonderful.
And he just smiles and gives you all a curt little nod before heading over to tent out for patrons.
I'm now going to stare at the food and water in a really odd manner.
Maybe we could play some music in a bit. The whole day? Or do you think that would be unwise?
I'm currently mesmerized by the food and water
I
moment.
wonder if you are capable of
Cass is-
ingesting in this form.
Cass is serving up and setting up a piece of the flatbread, and then she's handing it to Torde.
I do not know.
You
Try it.
better try.
You may as well find out.
You may get weak if you do not eat.
I'm going to take a bite and explode. It'll be on all of you people.
I'm just gonna, as I get up to, I'm gonna kind of semi-whisper to Cass without getting too close. Just for appearances, you may want me to do the serving.
Yes, you're sort of important. Lady, sorry, my priestess.
But there's kind of the defeated, just.
Also, you may wish to hold yourself with a bit of station. You sort
Whispers
of,
off the slouched priestess.
You are sort of carrying yourself like an angsty teenager, where you kind of stomp around a little bit, but you don't have your hooves. So, carry yourself with pride.
Going straight up and looking down at Trixie.
That is entirely what you need to be looking like. Yes, you should do that more.
Out of character, isn't she a teenager?
She kind of is.
At that point,
She aged herself back to be like 18 or something.
Yeah.
I'm used to you always towering over me. This is nothing.
No, you're-
I'm
what's your age now after drinking the potion?
18, right?
20, but I'm
Then you're younger.
No.
You're not older than me.
Nope.
I'm 23. My character's even older.
Telde,
Yeah, I'm 42.
as you're
43.
looking at
Yes.
the food, Telde, you hear the familiar voice in your head going, "Sir, while I seem to be able to conduct things normally, I cannot detect any of your usual mechanisms."
Oh no. Oh no. It's like that one episode.
Mm.
You have become
You have the
flesh.
My systems suggest that your outer shell has not been compromised, but it is not
Outer shell.
I hope not. That tends
behaving
to kill
normally.
turtles.
I'm going to take the food quizzically
An attempt to eat.
and bring it toward my face, but just kind of stop with it right in front of my face.
It is quite good, I can tell you, Torte. But yes, Cassiopeia, you have always been a bit of a flighty young girl and very excited, and it is a beautiful thing. It is a wonderful thing. But people expect you to carry yourself like you are a priestess. People are supposed to look up to you. You're supposed to be
And not just the way that Corvus is today.
But it does not mean that you have to be stuffy. It just means
Another
that,
short joke. Thank
you
you.
know, you may act a bit more calm. Can you calm?
I'm calm right now.
You need to be.
Annoying.
No,
Calm
you are
down,
100% angry. I know your secret, Cassiopeia. You are angry all of the time. No, you say you need to calm yourself, and you need to remember that you are in charge, and that as a priestess, you are guiding your little lambs into safety. Okay? think of yourself like Father Stone.
As Telde is sitting there, basically holding this piece of food in front of his mouth, and Telde, you can almost feel
Mother. Have you
anticipation within your mind
little children
from your companion.
I certainly feel some anticipate.
Yeah. You are all interrupted as a young drow woman comes over. Looks not much older than Cassie, just not quite as tentacly. Comes on over to the table and goes, excuse me, priestess, I'm sorry to interrupt your meal, but and she seems very nervous. She's sort of
Is this a matter you wish to discuss privately with the priestess?
no, this is nothing of importance like that. I was me and my friend, we were going to go get a blessing from the temple in the coming days. I was wondering if perhaps you could Anna Priestess, would you
Jax is
please
looking over.
bless me?
I can do that. Come here.
Okay. And she sort of steps in closer.
What is your
Gifton
name?
is going to really look at her food intently.
Corvus is just walking down the street.
Yep.
I'm
Jax is calmly working through his meal as well.
Incy, bless Priestess.
Incy? Well, Incy, it is good to meet you. And let's ask the dearest daughter to provide for you and your loved, and that might your union be fruitful and bountiful. And I'm going to kiss her on the top of the head.
She looks a little surprised by that, but stays silent.
The next day, NC goes to hey, so what priest is getting real fucking handsy.
Now go.
And she
You forgot the clap.
and she seems to hesitate briefly before just bowing before you go. Thank you, Priestess. Thank you. And she sort of backs off a little bit before hurrying back over to her table, glancing over her shoulder briefly as she does.
I don't know what is this paste?
I don't know.
What? I'm going to taste the paste. What is the paste?
It was the paste on the bread.
I'm guessing if I taste it, I can figure for sure it is the
Yes, it
sumac.
is. Seems to be a paste made from the sumac. Quite flavorful.
It is
It tastes like the no food,
without the
Burning.
spice that.
but it doesn't burn though.
Yes, it is just the sumac instead of the chilies also.
Uh,
And there seems to be this lovely sort of white, almost liquidy, yogurty substance that has a lot of what looks like to be chopped green vegetables in it. Very refreshing. A lot of people seem to be putting that on their flatbread with the meat.
Oh, what is that
Actually,
called?
gonna ask the
That's
GM because I
cake.
too.
Ah, yes.
Okay, it's not either of the thing I was thinking of.
Telde, do you bite?
Yeah.
Mike ain't coming through, dude.
I am finally going to bite.
Okay, you bite down, and your mouth is suddenly awash with flavors, which I'm not entirely sure Telde has experienced.
My God, I'm in Flavor Town.
he probably has never experienced in either of his lives.
What to do now?
Yes, you have arrived in Flavor Town. It is savory. It is somehow cool with a little bit of veg to it at the same time. The bread is wonderfully textured. The meat juicy. It's such an experience. And
I'm going to steadily start taking food and shoving it into my mouth. Not
Bender.
really
Just say
fast,
it's exactly-
but not
But,
stopping.
yes, just the steady thing of want to try this, gonna try that.
2 days later, it's just gonna be this little round fucking turtle.
The
Funny
Slow
noises.
down. You'll make yourself sick.
Rounder.
And you feel a sense of satisfaction coming from your companion as well, who basically picks up your senses and is getting to live vicariously.
Oh no, he's satisfied? That's
Uh-huh.
never a good sign.
And
Time to stop.
you hear him just go, "Try the liquid."
I'm going to do that while also grabbing some other food
Okay.
with the other hand.
Telde picks up a cup and basically, while still with a mouthful, takes a gulp of this liquid, which is sweet. Anyone looking, this is strangely pink.
Hey, is this pink?
Minate?
After I've served everybody, I'm going to take a taste of what the liquid is.
Yep, not particularly familiar with this Carrick. It's strange. It is only very faintly pink. It's just a tinge to it, but yeah, it is sweet. It seems to be almost watery though, sweet water, but not unpleasantly so.
Out of character, are we drinking hibiscus liquid?
You're drinking cactus juice.
Cactus juice, okay.
Yeah.
Yep,
was a
just picking at her food, but she just starts looking more and more sad as she eats.
What is wrong?
I miss Stingus.
Third?
I understand that. But for now,
He can be called here.
It would be a problem, I think. It is better
Yes,
here,
we've-
I think.
out of character, have we seen any?
Pseudo dragons? No.
Yes. Okay. I guess I would have actually technically in character had we seen one.
It would be far too unique and be spotted.
Yes, it may be a good idea.
But I
There's
always
also
share
the
my meals-
messiness of time and magic.
I always share my meals with him. It is strange without him.
Meep.
That did not make me feel better.
I'm fine.
Maybe later I can replicate some of these, and so he can try something at least close.
I'm sure he would like that.
As some of you, sadly, and some of you quite hungrily
Or
enjoy your meal.
orgasmically enjoy
Yes.
their meal.
We are
So I
going to
guess-
go over to the other party member, Corvus.
Yeah.
You've headed down the street, trying to find this jeweler, apparently, and you realise you weren't actually given much description beyond a name.
Mm-hmm.
And people are still setting up stalls. There aren't too many wares out yet to try and spot by. But go ahead and give me a investigation check. Okay. But you, with your cunning eye, quite easily find her. You see somebody that starts moving things out that, while isn't any outright sign of jewelry, you see tools behind her stall that would be used by a jeweler. Faint glimmers of dust from gems that have been cut and so on. And you're pretty sure that must be her then. Looks like to be a older drow woman. Must have quite some age on her by your terms if she is showing signs of age. Very, very faint, just the slight lining of her eyes and so on.
The darkening of her.
Mm-hmm. And she's just currently rifling through some boxes behind the stall.
Would I've, on my kind of walking, would I've picked up any of sort of the cordial greetings?
Only for the modern area. You could try them if you want.
Okay.
Everyone you've seen here seems to greet each other fairly casually. There wasn't any formality with the innkeeper.
Okay. Hello there. Are you Naima?
And she actually just glances up over her shoulder and goes, yes, I am Naima.
Naima, my sincerest apologies.
I'm afraid I'm not quite open yet.
Oh, I can wait, I suppose. I just arrived into town and need to get some coins, and I was told to come see you.
Oh, you're a seller, not a buyer.
I exchange. I have gemstones that I would need coinage for. And jewelry.
Oh, I am not really in the market to buy jewelry. It's bad taste to sell someone else's wares. It's in my line. But I'm bold and happy to take gems off your hands. Be they of quality?
They are, yes. If you're comfortable with doing it now.
Well, I do not need to get wares out to buy, so certainly. Please show me what you have.
So he will pull one gemstone of 100 GP quality per spell component, and he will pull out 3 more gemstones of 150 GP spell component.
Okay. And she sort of motions for you to actually set them down on her table.
The 3 gemstones are... let me double check what they are black onyxes. And the 100 was which type?
I don't think I ever wrote down a type. It was just a gem.
Okay. Alright.
Okay.
And
The
he will
spell I
set
used
those
it for
down.
didn't really need to specify.
And when you sit them down, she actually looks down behind her table, it seems, and then sort of just lets out a little whistle and motions with her hand. And then you see something pop up. Familiar tentacular form that seems to signify a Heian creature, although it only seems to have a few of these appendages, 5 in total, coming off again another solid body form, not a whole lot like Klopp's strange writhing mass. And you see lots of small feelers over it. The main body holding high up above these legs, which seem to support it, and
like a walking starfish, then.
yeah, somewhat. Although
elevated.
the tentacles more set in beneath it than at the side. And it starts to walk over the gems and starts to feel over them. And you see it using a couple of these appendages to lift it up into its center, sort of obscuring it briefly. And it just starts flashing little colours at her, and you even hear little trilling sounds coming from it. And then it sets it down, moves over to another one, and she picks up the one it just examined and looks at it closely herself. And within a few minutes, it's done. And she just holds her arm out to it, which it just happily climbs up along and settles on her shoulder, just pulsing this faint blue colour. She goes, they seem to be of good quality. How much was it total?
It'll be 550.
550. And she goes, I don't suppose you'd be willing to take 500 coin for the lot of them.
It's honestly more than we need right now, anyway.
Yeah, honestly, it is.
I'm able to take a dive on my platinum rings.
Well, she doesn't want the rings.
She doesn't want jewelry.
She doesn't.
Those are just gems.
Yeah, all we've
she
got
just
are the
wants
gems.
I'm willing.
I
to
suppose that is
lost money. So
is something to recoup in your selling of them. That's appropriate, I believe.
She smiles softly, and the ease of you selling no more in one place.
Say that again?
And she just smiles softly at you and goes,
in lots of different places.
yeah, and the ease of you selling them all in one place. Don't have to run about.
That is true. Quite.
And if you don't mind waiting a moment then?
Most certainly.
And she moves over to the back of her stall where she actually picks up a small locked box and opens it up and starts counting coin out into a little pouch she brings out. And she looks back over and you goes, is there any particular coinage you want it in? I do not carry a whole lot of silver, not enough, certainly, but you can do gold and platinum. Some electrum if you so wish.
Yes, we will take it all in electrum. Gold
and the voice on the wind. Never go for electrum.
Gold would suffice if that is easier for you.
Oh, of course. I don't think I have the entire totalage in gold. Would you be able to take 200 in platinum?
Yes.
Okay. And she actually brings a couple of coin pouches out to you. One seemingly bulging with this gold, the other with platinum, and they go funk down onto the table. Do feel free to count, although I am known for my honesty.
I was told that you were.
You say you are from out of town. I have certainly never seen you before.
I've never seen what?
Seen you before.
Me, personally?
Yeah. She says, I've never seen you before. You say you're from out of town.
Yeah. We were traveling for many days.
From where do you hail?
Oh, no.
Just say out west.
Yeah, I was going to just pick a cardinal direction along the coast. Is this town that we're in, does it feel like the original town that we came in, or is this like in the middle of the desert?
This, you don't smell the ocean at the very least. The coastal town you were in, you could always smell that sea breeze.
Yeah.
No. Nor is there any sort of sign or sound of it.
We have no idea any directions correlating to where we came out of. I could say north, and that could be the worst possible direction. I'm just north, 1, east, 2, south. I could say the coast.
Yeah, just a small town on the coast. You know, you don't
A
smell ghosts or anything
small,
up there.
insignificant town along the coast.
I do hear it's quite lovely on the coast.
It is refreshing. The constant smell and the breeze coming off the oceans.
Well, you have traveled far then. Have you been in town long?
We just arrived.
Well, if any of you, is it just you on your own?
No, what?
Is it just you on your own?
No, the 4 others, and we met with a priestess upon arrival.
Oh, well, if any of you wish to come and acquire some lovely jewelry, please. I would even give you a discount for the kind favor you have shown me.
I will certainly mention it. There are some that are quite lacking to jewelries.
Then you certainly must bring them here. What is your name, my friend?
Going.
Ulga.
Olga. I am Naimer, as you know. And are you satisfied with the coin?
I am, yes.
Marvelous.
Thank you kindly. It will help us a great deal when dealing with business. We seem to have... We had an issue with our caravan.
Lost wares?
Yes.
Yes, you have alerted the guard, yes? They have parties going out. They could keep an eye for it.
We just arrived. We're getting our wits about us. We'll be sure to alert them.
You have coin now to buy things, but you don't know that you can get food, yes, without the coin?
I was not aware.
Surely, you have the same where you come from, yes?
No.
Your town must be very decent then, yes?
It is very decent. No.
It's unusual to set up a town without a sheriff, but,
A sheriff?
No, a sheriff. What is a sheriff?
No, that was me asking.
No, sheriff.
Sheriff.
That's why the name of our town was called Fool's End, and everybody left.
Well, the closest sheriff from here is on the Eastern Street, 3 over from here.
Eastern Street, 3 over.
It's just that way.
Oh, Sheriff.
Yes.
Can I roll on that?
Sure, go for it. Now give me a history check.
The term is probably self-sufficient on that.
You've got no fucking clue.
Yeah, I figured. Oh. I will advise our other compatriots about this.
How do you spell that?
Here.
Yeah.
I will put that in.
Well, it was a pleasure doing business, but I need to rest my legs, get a cold drink, and some food. So I bid you a good evening, and may the daughter be with you.
And with you.
Thank you very much again, Naima.
And she just smiles and goes back to getting her stall set up.
I'm not gonna tuck myself in a hole. All right. It's gonna head his way back to the and he's gonna maybe not loiter, but just walk slowly, just trying to get a
Taking the
sense of-
sights.
Yeah.
Okay, you are walking about, just coming back down the street, and some of these stalls are starting to actually be properly set up now. You see various wares on sale, a lot of clothing. Not a whole lot of food vendors here, which is something that was very common on the other Saharan city you visited. Seems to be a whole lot of luxury goods. And very little way of simple necessities. Something that maybe is vaguely alarming for Corvus. For a moment, you see a sight that, for a Baratheon at the very least, essentially triggers a little bit of a fight or flight reflex, especially for an adventurer. A large furred creature, bit taller than most humanoids, especially taller than you in your current state, a bit hunched over with a large muzzle with teeth in it, spotted pattern on it, something you'd know of as a knoll.
Oh.
Just walking down the street.
Of course, we kind of pause and look at it for a second, and it's like, okay. No one else is reacting to it, so...
Yeah, no one else is reacting to it, and as it passes you, it just gives you a smile, which is disconcerting.
Thumbs up.
Sound effect I have for that smile is ching.
And notably, it is not dressed a whole lot like the other Saharans here. Seems to have a visually distinct style in itself, as if there's a different culture.
Yeah.
Blackheart's right
traveler.
now wondering why I didn't make him a knoll.
Yeah.
No, Carrick wouldn't want to be a null. Because the player.
Then Blackheart,
Oh,
the player is going to be mad.
Yeah.
But soon enough, you find yourself back at the inn.
Beforehand. Basically, I was thinking that as you were talking. So, as he's walking by before the knoll or anything, Corvus is going to cast Sending to Gifton.
Okay.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17. Okay.
I'm afraid our friend Olgarth has taken some heat stroke, and I do not understand the words he is saying.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to lean over to Cassiopeia and Saxon and go, Ulgar has just spoken into my brain with his crazy magic.
Wow.
And he informed me that we apparently are from the coast, where we have no sharaf. We pay with food.
You mean we pay for food?
Four.
Like the whip.
Oh, that is the drastic opposite of what you accidentally typed.
Do you not think he meant 4?
I don't know. He said we pay with food. Ow! He just said 4 like 20 times into my head. Ow! Oh, that hurt.
Oh no, it's 4 spell slots.
I
And,
don't know if our friend could please maybe message someone else.
and about this
wait.
time, you actually walk into the inn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trixie's pulling on her ears and holding them down, and she just looks completely miserable.
There.
Upon hearing the word shop, can I try a history check on that? I don't know if I'll come up
Yeah,
with
sure.
anything more than shop.
I'm going to pat
No.
Trixie on the back. and
Anyone
then
can try the history check if they
I
want.
get the exact same number.
What did you say, Tilde?
I'm going to pat Trixie on the back somewhat and then kind of steal some of her food.
She doesn't seem to know this. She has strangely been trying to draw Dingus's face with her food, but she's not an artist.
Okay. Carrick. Because you beat DC 30, which D&D sets as impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does he hear about this?
No, I mean,
in the markets in the markets of Alazez, you were leafing through some things, and you actually found in some old scrollwork, not ancient, just old Saharan scrollwork that seemed to be talking about even further back history. You did see mention of something called a sharoff, which apparently was some form of essentially free food and drink that was supplied as a basic amenity in the old Saharan Empire. Building dedicated to providing it. It didn't detail how, but essentially there was a principle of the common needs of everybody should be accounted for and should not have any money expected for it.
Sharath is one place that provides food and drink for those who, without a cost to it, to make sure everybody is provided for.
You mean it is like the food room?
Yes.
No.
Dingus would
out of-
love the sheriff.
Dingus would love the sheriff.
Out of character, I like to imagine if it hadn't been what our wonderful GM came up with, I randomly found one to grab his book.
Oh, since I have 2 replies to go through, I'm going to burn those really quick.
Well, I want to see what your 444 reply is.
As Corvus is coming over to join you, you're gonna send you replies.
Why would we pay with food?
I meant 4. Sorry, Okay.
I like to think you're staring at him fixedly as you're doing this as well.
Eyes narrowed.
No.
That's the order.
Oh, okay. I understand how that felt now. I apologize sincerely. And yes, a sheriff supposedly is just down the street, a couple blocks from Nima's, which
Saying they'd have more food there.
what does Tort Day look like?
It looks
Does
like
he have
he's eating a
food
lot.
plastered all over his face?
No, I'm efficient. I'm eating as much of the food as I can.
He's
I'm now-
wasting he's been taking that pita bread and he's like
Dabbing his
scooping it off the
beak
plate,
with
getting
it.
every little bit. Yeah.
I'm imagining the South Park Canadian thing, but then just the top of that just flipping open and just going
Yeah.
down the hole.
Pouring it in. You're very hungry. I don't know why you always refuse to eat usually. He is not talking, he is only eating.
Also, don't talk with your mouth full of food. It
Since
doesn't
we
do
seem
that.
to have a place here, do we wish to
I just died at a gummy bear.
do we wish to go find our good smith man?
How much XP
Yes.
do I get for killing Blackheart?
10.
Cassiopeia.
Can-
We should find out what your blessings are supposed to actually look like.
Here, he will set the bags on the table. And
If then
then
we'll start sorting the money because she's always been the money sorter for some damn reason.
Nima does not work in exchanging of jewelry, so I'll give these back to you. However, she did recommend we all see her. It would be gracious for us to at least see what she has to offer, and she would give us a good discount.
Gifton is going to give one of the platinum rings to Shaxon that she had, and she's going to take 50 gold coins. And then she's going to make sure 50 gold coins goes to each person, and there should be 20 platinum coins because you got 200 gold pieces in platinum. So we have 20 platinum coins. We're going to give those back to Shaxon and go, I do not know if we should be spending this large amount, but since it is your money, you should probably hold on to it. But 50 gold pieces each seems like a very equitable amount for all of us to have while we are traveling. I do not know what the prices are in this region.
Quite
Jax will look and actually divide out and leave it so he's got 5 plat and the 50 gold, and actually the rest was not mine.
Oh, all right. So you are taking 5 plat? Okay. And I will then figure out how to spend the rest of this 15 plat. 1 moment. Math is very complicated. And you
That's
may
technically
hardly tell.
2.5 per person.
All right. Well, I will.
Actually,
do,
if you don't count Shax, yeah.
Yeah, there's 20 plat in there. That's 3 apiece. There's 5 other people.
So I'll give 3. I'll give 3 to each other person. So everybody's getting 3 of the new brand new Zaharan coins and 3 plat, and then 50 gold pieces.
Mhm.
So make sure you mark down that you have that. So I think that is very good. We have a good trade. We have Ethan. Ugar, you need to here just wrap this pita up, shove it right in your gullet. While you are doing that, my dear son Rinsen will help clean up the plates. And then we shall go and find the gentleman that is of great interest to our priestess. Was that right, priestess?
Yes.
Maybe the priestess would be gracious enough to stop by Nima's as well.
And maybe on the way back. We do not wish to burn starlight tonight.
Carrick, you start gathering up the empty dishes and such.
Yes, I leave enough for.
I give him a playful smack on the bottom. Get in there, son.
And even enough for Corvus to eat, I assume.
Yes.
Don't give me so
Yeah. But yeah, you can start
Something's
taking.
Still trying to eat.
You can basically shift things to one plate for him and Tilde, and you can take the other platters up.
And honestly, I'm concerned with how your body is going to react with this large amount of food that you have now ingested.
Stop talking, Olgar, and just eat.
Ugh.
The more your mouth is going, you should be chewing.
Carrick, as you bring the dishes up, Anwar gives you a thankful little nod and goes, thank you, boy. Your group, you have a lizard folk and a wanderer, but what schedule do you keep?
Sorry, someone else was actually eating.
Carrick.
No, it wasn't Carrick. It was Blackheart. We kind of work between the two, depending upon what we need to do.
They're flexible. And what time do you need your rooms? I can get them done now if you or your fellows need to sleep, but
I believe we need to assist the priestess in a venture at this moment. To go visit out of character Talal. Pronunciation's hard.
Then I shall get them ready for you to rest by morning.
That would be very appreciated. Thank you.
Of course.
We did this weird skirting of our schedule. We took like extra rests before sundown and shit.
I was more going to say the fact we time travel. We have no idea when.
Wait, remember we did that weird thing where we camped, but we didn't like get our long rests, but we got like short rests in while we were sitting there waiting. Which during this time, I'm going to have. So I'm assuming we can count this as a short rest. I'm going to reattune things around. I'm unattuning my bracers of archery, and I am attuning my cloak of elvenkind.
Okay.
Making a choice.
Okay, and yes, you deliver the dishes, and you can return to the table, Carrick. Corvus, you finish up your meal, which was unusual, especially for your sort of Hexen-like palate. Not unpleasant.
Not enough potato.
Yeah, needs way more potato or spatula or something, you know.
Needs some more carb.
Yes. You eat far more bread than most of us would.
It's not enough
more naan.
But yes, you're all sitting there, ready to go, essentially.
Cass is going to get up. I do believe it is time for us to.
Oh, there was a note.
We need to be here for.
As well.
Oh, that's fine. All right, Priestess has said it is time to go. And Gifton will straighten up and stand up, realizing it's not really that big of a jump, apparently. And looking a little disappointed.
Do you do this multiple times a day?
Yes, we do it about 3 times a day. If you're a dingus, you eat like about 6 to 12. He likes to have snacks.
Why are you not all like him?
Because if you notice, he gets a little bit more rotund, and then he slows down.
I am some days surprised he can fly.
Eventually feel full.
And if you keep eating, you eventually feel sick.
You don't think that's true, Talde?
Oh, that is very true, Talde. Please. We don't need you to go through the gambit of being food sick.
It could be interesting.
The place I believe we were told is to the
and experience
over the river.
Out of character, wasn't it the west?
I thought that was east. I wrote down east.
Westward.
Oh no, western. Yep, western. Yeah, western.
So
Yep.
that's what's
So it's a good thing that Corvus came to us.
Yeah, good thing. Whoop! I didn't even look at my note that I wrote western yet. But western.
He will correct me. It is to the west.
If you would like, I could in discorporate all of us, and we could travel very swiftly.
We may want to save those in case.
Yes.
We also have no
Okay.
idea how magic is regarded at this point in the city, sir.
Hmm.
No, I'm pretty sure he ran out of food.
I don't know about using magic here.
Oh, that is a good idea. I did not even think about that.
Keep to mundane for now.
Oh. Okay.
It will be simpler.
As you all start to
Checks.
filter out. Oh, your checks?
He will actually reach in his bag and blood. I do have these, and he will pull out 5 extra sets of sending stones he made over the course of a while, so we can keep in contact.
Hey, disposable spell slots.
Renewable spell
No,
slots.
renewable.
Renewable,
yeah.
that's the right word.
It's like, yeah.
You're going to pass
Daily
those
spell
out?
slots.
Yeah.
No, you definitely send a message and then throw the stone away. That's exactly how those are supposed
So
to
who are
work.
you connecting to who?
Probably since they both are capable of casting sending, and it's a little more discreet. Probably Telde and Corvus are okay without it.
Yeah.
So probably Shax is probably keeping a set between himself and Gifton and himself and Garrick, and then probably Gifton Cass, Garrick Gifton, and then I don't know, Garrick Gas. Assuming one of us will be with her at all
Right,
times.
can you write that in the Discord
Okay,
for
can
me?
you please
Okay.
check that?
Yeah.
My head hurt.
Yes.
And yes, I made him more.
I just need to know who I'm connected to. I think I'm connected to Carrick and
Cass and
Shax.
Carrick.
Oh, Cass and Carrick. Okay. I thought I was connected to Shax in there too. I wasn't sure.
It's like one of those weird mind games that they give you in tests.
Who's on first?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we done, priestess.
And Cass is actually zipping out the door.
As you all start to leave, the other patrons give you various nods and waves. You hear a couple of blessings on you, and
Blessings upon you from the daughter.
soon you're out
Yes.
on the city streets
I'll give
again.
blessings.
It's starting to be a little more active now at this hour. There's definitely more drow and Duergar out and about. And as you start to head towards the where you have been told that Talal is, you walk through the city. It's not particularly orderly laid out. Seems that it just has grown organically. New structures added as need be.
Not some grand alien plan of
No,
construction.
definitely not.
Darn.
Small SWAT buildings, seemingly intermingled with these large pyramidal-like structures. Not all of them seem to be of import. You see plenty of these large structures that seem to have markings of just abodes on them. Many doorways up on these sort of balcony levels, things hung out, even just clothing drying out on the edges of them. As you're walking through, you come across actual construction near a pair of these large towering creatures that you've seen in the distance, and everyone there's a little bit of a market section here. Just a few stalls. Seems to be mostly residential, but there's a lot of people hanging out in doorways just watching these two things as in between moving these large slabs of sandstone. One of them seems to pause and just suddenly flash a bunch of bioluminescent colours at the other, red, blue, yellow, and then the other one flashes red, blue, red. And as you're approaching, you see this display going on back and forth a few times. And then suddenly there are a few little cheers, and the onlookers seemed very happy when finally the one that was going red, blue, red goes red, blue, yellow.
They're betting on them.
I think they are flirting.
And as you say that, one of the drow that you're passing by goes, "Oh yes, he's been trying to court with her for a few weeks now."
Oh, is he finally getting an inroad? Oh,
It
that's so
looks like it.
wonderful. Oh, this is lovely.
It's been the talk of the street, and it's a little sad it's going to be over.
Oh. Oh, but it will be wonderful.
That it will be.
Oh, blessings upon you. I am sorry to interrupt your day.
Oh no interruption. Joining in the entertainment, he says, sort of looking up at the town creatures, who have just extended a couple of appendages towards each other, a sort of brief caress before they resume working.
I have not seen many of these, unfortunately. I have not seen construction happen very often. But how do you understand their colors? I just felt like it would be that, but I don't understand why.
Well, you are not from the city.
No, I'm from the coast.
You just sort of get used to the patterns. Some we all know, they are used frequently enough that we need to learn them. Dangerous, safety, that sort of thing, yes. But the courting, you see it now and then, you get to recognize it.
Oh, it is quite lovely. What does danger look like in case I need to know?
Danger is many purple flashes.
All right.
Very
Okay.
rapid sequence.
I would be very confused otherwise. It is good to know.
Purple is a nice color.
And
It's a very lovely color.
he just nods and seems to go back to. He's got this board out that he seems to be just this wooden slatted board that he seems to be rubbing clothes against in water.
Washboard.
And yes, you continue through the city.
By the way to the GM, just so she has an idea.
Yes.
I do have the ring on, like the full
To protect yourself from magic.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
my band. So just in case it would come into storyline based thing, I just want to make sure you knew I had that.
What Toralday said actually makes a lot of sense to me if you think about it, because some of like club they smell magic.
Was that a thing?
That was a thing.
It was a thing.
I don't-
Yeah, we remember you guys used clops to find me.
Yeah.
I thought he was actually tracking you, like smell.
No,
Yeah,
it's
you
the
got
it's
it.
the magic.
No,
It's the magic.
no.
Your magical signature.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Has Corvus seen any of the weird things?
No.
You lost your special fish.
You haven't seen any of the weird things.
That's what it.
Corvus is just kind of looking around,
I'm gonna do that.
kind of surprisingly looking around, checking over his shoulder.
It is a beautiful city, is it not, Olgar?
Yes, it is. It's more of the typical things that I see are not here.
Yes, it's because we are in a different country.
No, they were here when we were here.
And as you pass through this residential area, you see lots of lights. You see many children running about, seemingly in just packs, roving together, laughing, playing.
Oh.
Gifton looks like she is torn and wants to go running off and playing with the children constantly. Oh, it's so cute. Oh, look at that little one. Oh, she's so cute.
And you even come across a small group that seems to be gathered around the side of a building, just looking up at and jumping and trying to reach for this creature that is attached to the side. Again, this sort of tentacle formation, or far more mass of them, a bit more like Klopp that you're used to. Not quite as flowy though, and about half the
Smaller.
size. Yeah. It seems to be hanging onto the side of this building, flashing soft colours at them, these little yellows and blues, and it is dangling a ball above them, which they keep trying to jump for. It lowers it into reach, and then hikes it back up.
Oh my god.
Oh, that is so cute. That is the cutest thing.
And when one of the children finally manages to snatch it, there's lots of laughter and cheering, and it just seems to pulse contentedly before lowering itself down and moving off with them as they start playing their ball game.
What a beautiful place.
It is interesting.
As you continue on, you you come across a river running through this city. There's a solidly built bridge around over it, and the sides are actually shored up with stonework. It's not just left to the riverbanks. And and of course there aren't too many buildings crowded around it. It's left clear. And the water itself seems to be very clear as well, which is a little unusual for cities. You expect a bit of muck with the water.
You got the tentacle beasts that filter everything.
And indeed, as you are travelling through, you see dotted along it these large, not quite tentacly, they seem to be almost manta ray-ish. Not quite the same shape, a little more squared off in fact. They just seem to be flittering through the water, coming up on the surface briefly and diving back under.
Oh God, she
Wow,
made
what are those? Those
she
are
made
beautiful.
water Roombas.
Basically.
Yeah.
She has thought out this city.
Wow, that is a beautiful design.
I'm
It
gonna
is
do this.
interesting.
Did you? What are you
For
looking
knowing
for?
what a manta ray is and getting the
Wait,
idea
Yes.
that
have
looks
any
like
of
a
those
You-
by Beacon?
Yes, it looks like a manta.
Should have some of those in Beacon.
they look like manta rays.
I
and
want some
little-
of those in Beacon. Can we have some of those in Beacon?
We would have
you-
to talk to her.
Uh,
I think we should do what we need to do and then get back before we do that. Also, I think
But
there's a waterway.
they're so. Well,
We have
one.
a
Yeah, but-
There is a
No,
waterway.
I mean set up a waterway. This.
Wait, we could dig something out.
You can touch the rock and do the rock shape again.
They can make that rock shape happen.
We can make a canal.
Barras is suddenly cut in half. by
Bye,
somebody.
bye. I wave at them.
Uh,
Bye.
They're interesting little. Are
And
they like when you say manta ray? Like how big?
these are about 20 feet across each.
Okay, so really big.
Bye,
Yes.
bye, big
Okay.
water features.
I thought they were just like big stingrays.
Yeah.
That's what I was like, because I'm like manta rays are pretty big.
Batteries are big.
I have
As
no idea
you
how much I want to get in the water right now.
We're gonna find
That's
out.
drunky water. You don't want that.
no, it's very
We're gonna
clean.
find- We're gonna find out that form doesn't do well in water.
They'll get
and starts,
confused
like,
and think you're there for something else.
As you start to cross the bridge, which is actually very wide, the bridge itself is about 20 feet across, and the river itself about 30 feet, so 30 by 20. It's a thick bridge. You start crossing it, and you see across the way, coming out from a few buildings, just see me coming around the corner, to what you assume are priestesses of Heia. The same sort of tentacle-like form that Cass is sporting, although these
I'm
have
going to bow my head respectfully.
very large, rounded bellies.
Cass is going over the side.
And are you going over the side?
Cass is going over the side.
Okay, I'll keep note of that. I'll finish my description and then address that. Accompanying them are 4 drow, 3 females and 1 male, that also have altered lower bodies, although these look an awful lot like the strange creature that Telde uncovered beneath a rock. These scorpion-like lower bodies supporting them very heavily, just carrying spears, it looks like. They don't look particularly aggressive. They actually seem fairly relaxed, even just talking with the priestesses that you assume they are escorting, who just seem to be conversing.
Is there anyone else on the bridge that make any motions?
No one on the bridge.
Gifted
Oh,
looks
no.
shocked and then suddenly goes like
Yeah.
looking over the bridge
As
like
there's a
where'd
splash.
Cassie go?
And when she splashes into the water suddenly starts to glow as the manta rays start to start to flesh colours about,
They're warning.
And-
Someone jumped in the river.
and there are flashes of purple.
Oh no.
Cass,
Cassie!
you are in the water. It's very clean water. It's actually very pleasant. You've dived into the moat in cities before, and it's not the nicest thing. This is positively refreshing. And then you see one of those manta-like things swimming towards you, its body just undulating through the water, flapping away. And it seems to be trying and it does seem to be trying to scoot under you.
Oh, really?
And another one is coming over as well. And you're trying to outmaneuver it?
Just trying. Cass is going to play with it.
Okay. As you're swimming,
swim around it and just kind of wave back at it.
As you swim around it, it keeps flashing this purple color, which is echoed by others that are also converging. And Cass, it's trying to move up beneath you, and it's trying to push you upwards.
Fine, I'll get out.
On top of the bridge, the guards seem to notice this purple coloring coming from the waters.
It's like a side to go run down because
there's a few scattered along, basically stairs down into the water.
In a panic, that is what Trixie is doing. She's gonna run around and start running down. I'm coming.
Yeah.
And the guards actually hearing that and seeing the purple start to rush forward, and the priestesses, despite their rounded forms, also hurry along, moving quite easily, it seems.
I mean, it's not like I can deal as much in the way for some massive tentacles.
Yeah, it's scooting across.
And
she certainly does great at not attracting attention. Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, okay, that's inconvenient. The one of the guards actually sort of waves at your group and goes, "Is there someone in the water?"
That's it. I'm gonna start reading it.
Yes.
Our priestess decided to go for a swim.
Your priestess, and when you say that, there's a look of confusion on their faces, and but they still come on over. And looking over the edge, they see this display happening, and the water's clear.
So they can see Cassie down there.
Yeah.
Gifted going in there. I'm coming.
And Gifton, as you sort of move down the closest steps, it's not quite in line with Cass. Are you going in the water?
Gifton is not sure if she should. She starts poking a foot in. I come get you.
The priestesses now at the edge of the river are looking in and looking at each other, somewhat perplexed. Before we're going to take a short potty break or drink break, as yes, we need Cass. Yes. Okay. Brief intermission. Live. And we're back.
I'm starting to slowly get into the water. You need me to help you out.
Uh,
Can you swim?
Of course, she can swim, Harold. One of the priestesses calls out. Please calm yourself.
Fine.
Little sister, do you need help out?
And Cass is just going to kind of leverage herself out like normal.
Are you coming up onto the bank near them, onto the bridge, on the bank opposite them? Where are you coming out?
On the bank on the side that we were going towards.
Okay, so on the bank, so the side they're on.
So over by where two of us are.
Okay. Yeah, if you come up on their side, they will actually start moving over towards you. Are the rest of you going to move over to join on that side, or are you staying on the bridge?
Gifton is slowly climbing back up the hillside with
Vincent,
with that stressed look on her face.
Cass is going to grab Trixie and pull her up.
No.
And the priestess, who looks slightly older than the other one, in fact, people give me a perception check, please.
Why are you worrying me like that? This is not nice.
Okay, 15 and over, which is shockingly few of you. This looks like a mother and daughter pair.
Surprisingly low roll there.
Yeah. The older of the two sort of settles a few feet from you, Cass, and just goes, "What are you doing in the water, little sister?"
it's embarrassing to say this, but I have a thing about water. I really like it, and I kind of was looking over, and then I was thinking about diving in, and then I slipped, and then I dove in.
How did you?
The
So many legs. How did you?
I,
It looked like you just sort of
You launched
yourself off.
yourself.
Yeah, you
the two priestesses sort of chuckle a little bit, and she goes, "We all like the water, little sister, but and to trip with our blessing."
you'd be surprised.
Um,
Well, not all of us are graced with grace. She
Yeah,
says,
here,
somewhat
let me
teasing,
take
but
out my
fondly so.
blanket.
I'm like, no.
I'm gonna take out a blanket from my backpack and I'm gonna start trying to dab you off.
But still,
You're soaked.
in order you must stay out of the river. It is not the season for it, and they know to help, and they panic.
I'm sorry.
Corvus looks over. Sorry.
Purple is danger.
Yes, but it is in danger. And she seems to actually regard your group. Yes, I have not seen any of you around. Are you all friends?
Trixie's going to bow her head. Yes, we are traveling together. I am very sorry to have disturbed you. We are just traveling through.
Do not apologize. I was just concerned that somebody was in trouble. And I don't think I have seen you at the temple before. What is your name, little sister?
I'm Cassiopeia.
Cassiopeia. It is unusual. You are newly blessed, yes?
Yes.
I can see.
Hey,
What?
Yes, very excitable.
And, who is your blessed mother?
Her name was Serendipity.
Serendipity. I'm not familiar with her.
I'm not. It's hard to explain.
We came from a small community on the coast. New community. We've been traveling for many days and have just arrived.
Oh, did you receive your blessing outside of the city?
She's trying to make a run for it.
No, that was our camels.
I did.
It's a very unusual occurrence. It's not advised, but have you had your education?
She has
No.
not, I'm afraid. We were hoping that perhaps she could get a bit of that while we were here.
You would
To
not
help
have.
out our community.
You would not have received the blessing if you were not deserving of it. But you must learn your duties, little sister.
I'm sorry.
You're
Still
not.
trying to figure it all out.
And she actually reaches an arm out and places a hand on your shoulder, which brings her rather uncomfortably close with her endowments.
Bump.
And she just sort of gently squeezes your shoulder and goes, "You are not in trouble. There's no need to apologize. You can see you are all heading somewhere, so why don't you come to the temple tomorrow night? And I will be there. I will help you get settled in."
I will try. And Cass is giving the best smile she can.
It's running to the water. "Hey, little sister, what have you done?"
God damn, I was typing that.
And she gives you another squeeze, Cass, before letting go. You all have a nice night and stay out of the water, yes?
Yes.
And she gives you a respectful nod, Telday, before smiling fondly at the rest of you and just saying, "My daughter's blessings on you all, and have a pleasant night."
Cass
Waves.
waves.
And you also.
Chucks will give a typo too as well.
And when you sort of say that to Gifton, very meekly sounding, the younger one pauses and sort of reaches out and cups your chin a bit and brings your gaze up to hers and goes, There's no need to be meek around us.
Yes, my priestess.
And she smiles softly at you and just goes, please, don't... Sorry, DM's throat has gone. Please.
Water.
Yeah. Please, call me Dala.
Dala.
You are a friend of the Swans, or you are a friend of us. This is how it goes. The family extends.
You say Jala?
Dala.
Jawa.
This is the night of typing names.
It is.
Yes. Yep.
Jawa.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, I actually had one right for once.
Mm.
Thank you very much.
And she lets go, and they both motion to the guards to start to follow along. And as they move past you, you hear them starting to chatter again, and you hear the younger one going, well, she was very cute. And the older goes, no, you just look at the boy. Oh, those eyes.
Moving on,
Get an
folks.
impression on them.
Let's sort.
Yeah. They think you're cute.
I think they were preferring to you.
Maybe it would be less of an
No.
impression if you did not decide to dive in the water instead of interact with them.
A simple conversation would have easily sufficed.
Well, let us go.
Yes.
Okay.
Before
Gifton
we
kind of hangs her head as we start marching forward again.
And
actually, out of just a real quick
Yeah.
question, did the the cleaner things follow her to the edge? Before you
yes,
go
they sort of lingered about a bit, and it took about 30 seconds or so for that purple flashing to stop.
They're like, okay, she's
Yeah.
good. She's
safe,
good.
she's safe,
She's good.
she's
She's
safe.
safe, everyone.
Yeah.
She's safe.
Oh my God, all
We
the
did it.
super
Good job,
happy.
team. There's probably like a
That's when they
rainbow
got-
display, or they were like reset. We can do our job again.
That's when they stopped flashing purple and they got all the dirt from her tentacles not out of the water.
And
Yeah,
The angry Roomba noises.
and as you're traveling, give me perception checks, please.
But
Gifton's probably not paying much attention.
Jesus
She's being,
fucking Christ.
she's being kind of humdrum. Yeah, that's Gifton.
Wow.
She's humdrum.
Oh.
She's got her head down.
Okay.
She's kind of slumped a little
Corvus,
bit.
Telday, and Carrick. As you start to get these outer reaches past the river, there are buildings around here, but they're a bit more sparse. Not entirely so, but not as crowded as the inner city. And you notice weird patternings to them. And as you go through one of these weird patternings where they all seem to be spaced out a bit, you can see what looks like to be the remnants of wall, now actually reduced down to just a path, starting to cover parts of it. It looks like there was a wall here that runs as pretty far to your north and south through these buildings. And then eventually when you walk through enough buildings, they're all getting a bit sparser, you see another like thing. Until you actually finally reach an actual wall. About 40 feet tall, wooden supports creating a platform for guards to stand on, which you do see a few Drow and Duragar guards up top, just overlooking outside.
Keep on expanding the wall.
Yeah, and that's definitely what you suspect. It looks like they have repeatedly dismantled the wall and pushed out before rebuilding again.
How far of a distance is the wall to the town?
It's part of the DM hates. From the point in the town that you travelled, which you don't know if that's the centre of town or whether that's just
Right. Yeah.
the wall is a couple miles out. It's been quite a walk, and this wall is right next to buildings, all the same still.
Mm-hmm.
are the buildings that we've been walking past, where it's a lot sparser, seeming to actually be occupied or abandoned?
Most of them seem to be occupied.
Okay.
You do see a few that aren't so, and there is a lot more construction going on here.
Okay.
They either constantly keep a generous barrier between civilization and the outside, or they have lots of plans ahead of them.
Could be both.
They
Could
have
be.
a booming population, if you think about it.
Yes, it's expanding from the center out.
And soon,
Quite rapidly, too.
I
soon
mean,
enough,
you saw how many children were in town.
Yeah.
so many.
Mhm.
And soon enough, you are at the wall. You can actually see a large gate, crude by the standards you're used to, but robust all the same, made of a multitude of logs, basically strapped and very tightly roped together.
Palace is more than a wall.
A palisade's a wall.
But no, this is the gate. The wall itself is made from sandstone, it seems.
Yeah.
Were we just?
He was outside the town, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's outside the gate.
Yeah.
He's on the outskirts. I
Yeah,
wasn't sure
the
if that
outskirts
meant,
is what you were told. Whether it means inside or outside is.
Well, we can
Are
ask
there
the
any
gate
guards
guard.
nearby?
Yeah, there are guards nearby. There are some atop the wall, and there are a couple at the door. One of
There's a couple
them,
at the door. I'm going to wave over at one.
one of them is the scorpion type, and the other just seems to be a Duragar.
Gifted
And-
not partial either.
Yeah, as you wave,
further.
the guards both look at each other before the scorpion-like one begins coming over to you. The legs moving in a little bit of a disconcerting fashion.
I am sorry to bother you, but we are looking for a gentleman named Talal.
Talal,
You thought
is he in
outskirts
trouble again?
is- No, he is not in trouble. We would just like to visit with him. Is he actually within the town walls, or is he outside?
He squints a little bit at you, going, "This isn't about some grievance, is it?"
Oh no,
No, it is not.
we wish to talk to him about the metal. He is very smart.
Okay, and well, in that case, I suppose it wouldn't hurt. He lives in the Dunrisel just that way, and he points off a bit northwards inside the wall, and you do see a structure that is separate from most of the others. In this bare tract of land that doesn't seem to be fully
I'm
built up
sorry,
yet.
We are from outside of town. We are from a old small place on the coast. We've journeyed very far. There seems to be a lot of concern about grievance with him. Is there something we should know?
He causes a little trouble now and then.
Is he a thief? Or
Oh, no,
does
no,
he-
no,
is he a bit of a drunk?
Before he moved out here, there were some problems with things like fumes or minor explosions.
Oh, you mean people who work strange materials? Sometimes they have reactions and it does damage.
He is many things. An alchemist.
Chorus visibly shivers.
I am familiar with that. I once had a man who stayed in my room that made a terrible stench with vials.
And as you know, once someone does something like that, they tend to get blamed for all small things that may not be their fault.
Oh, yes, the flowers wilting, everything is their fault at that point, yes. And the sun never rises quite right when they're in your life.
Yes, you understand.
Yes, of course. All right, we have no such
monocle.
we have no such quarrel with him, so it is fine. I just was worried that perhaps we did not know, and he was a bad person, you know.
Oh no, he is a perfectly amicable man, but a little withdrawn now.
Why is he withdrawn?
Just seems to be consumed with his work. We check up on him now and then to make sure he is eating.
But surely his family is with him, yes?
He actually looks a little doubt at that and goes, he does not have family. His brothers are far away now, and he has not sought anybody.
Oh, that is heartbreaking. Well, we will fix that. That is fine. Thank you.
Well, please, do give him my regards.
I do. What is your name so I can sell him?
Oh, I am Khalil.
Khalil. Okay, nice to meet you. I am Beatrix.
A pleasure. Go with the daughter's blessings, please.
Daughter's blessings upon you. All right, this way.
Right. Okay, and you start trudging off to this distant building that, yes, it's definitely got quite some distance from anywhere else. And as you get out,
There's this weird chalk line that nobody wants to cross.
as you approach it, more and more starts to become visible. It's not just this building. As you approach, you can actually see the ground dips, and it looks like there's actually a large area dug out around it.
it to trap the heavier gases, of course.
And within this, there's basically different sectioning. Some of it does seem to run a lot lower and just seems to be left alone. Some of the more raised bits within this this not quite pit. It's well structured. It's dug out. Think Lars family homestead. You see things.
Buildings on the surface.
Not in the building shape, but
area.
just that sort of dugout pit area that everything gets built within.
Yeah.
Within it, you actually see what looks like to be crude forges, especially by your standards, stonework piled up together to make something that, is a forge. Some of you do recognize.
Gifton actually probably recognizes it
Yeah.
because she was a smith.
Yeah. There are
pebbles.
there are shelters that seem to have crates beneath them. There's actually different plants growing out here as well. He seems to have a small garden with a whole array of colours in it, which, Corv especially, you do recognise as a lot of alchemical herbs used for different poultices, potions, and so on.
Tread carefully, everyone.
But
And
his building
don't
itself,
smell the flowers.
his building itself is raised up out of this pit a bit, which is why it was visible from outside. Stairs leading up to it, just sandstone stairs.
And Priestess, do you want to start this, or do you want somebody else to?
Cass is going to go up to the
How-
door and knock.
All right.
Okay, you climb up the stairs, Cass, and you knock on the door. And you're met with silence.
Hello,
Be asleep.
Hello?
Yeah,
are
you
you there?
start yelling. Do you knock louder?
I'm going to knock again. Just. Bap, 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 bap.
Okay, you knock and between you and Gifton yelling for him.
No.
You actually see one of the wooden sort of hatches over the windows level up from this open up, and a drow poke his head out, wearing what looks like to be these really thickly padded earmuffs,
Oh.
which he pulls off of his ears and sort of leans out the window and looking down at you. Yes, hello.
Are you
Hi.
Talal?
I am Talal.
We have great matters to discuss with you.
Monetary matters. I
No. Have you ever thought about metal that come from the sky?
And he looks a little taken aback when you say that. His eyes widen a little bit before he goes, "I'll be right down."
Do
And
we actually have a sample of that?
No, we cannot cut it. It was uncuttable.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We just touched it.
And it's
Yeah,
I
immobile.
and it's sort of in the future right now.
I can.
So we're supposed to
Replicate
drag
it.
him back to the future?
and
Let me bring a burlap sack.
suddenly the door opens up,
As we're discussing kidnapping him.
and he looks at the group of you peering about, going, "Which one of you is Calic?"
Oh,
That would be
Point.
me.
point.
And the Ada.
At the
Ada.
end.
Edelas?
I'm gifted.
She is called Ada. Oh, wait, you're
I'm
Gifton.
pointing at the Drogar. That's the adder.
Oh, I thought you That is the word for girl where you come from, no?
What?
What?
It is one.
Lass!
His
Alas!
last name
Under
is-
lass!
No,
it's
that's
it's
wrong.
accent.
His
It's
last name is
Hex-
one word. It is
Corvus, under lass. This is the thing.
Oh, my
Ah,
apologies.
Do you know what we look like?
I do not know your faces, no.
We just know our names.
I know your names.
Okay, because that is interesting.
Slight wave.
I like to imagine it's actually slow because of turtle.
Yes, yes, please, come in. And he just opens the door up and steps aside.
Cass is going to slither in.
Check.
Did you know we were coming? Did you dream about that too?
I have been expecting you all for months. Please, that watch your body. You are quite large. He says to you, Cass, as you come on in, and It is cluttered in here. There are tools set up on the walls. There is what looks like to be a table that would have been for eating that has a entire array of jars and bowls set up on it. Very crudely made tubes running between them.
Corvus is having a mild panic attack.
Are you prepared to travel with us then?
Traveled with you? No, I am to teach you. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I think the wrong Greysteel got sent.
No, I believe the correct one did.
My dreams. I heard your names. That you'll be coming for knowledge.
Yes, we are.
I guess we can't remove you from this time. That will be a problem.
It's time.
We should avoid the discussion of where we come from and why. You need to teach us
But yes,
about the rock that came from the
we
sky.
would appreciate anything you can teach us.
Do you want to see what I have done?
Yes.
Yes.
Please. And he walks over to a trapdoor that is very clearly on display, which he just lifts up, opening it up, and starts to climb down without any word.
Cass will follow.
Be careful moving, please.
Cass, this is a pleasant surprise. You can go down this ladder with ease. The tentacle just seemingly instinctively grasping at it, even just lowering you without your hands needing to come into play. Which normally those are what do all the work, trying to get you up the ladder.
Yeah.
Tilde, ladder's a little trickier.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Does
the turtle fit down the door?
It's a little bit of a struggle. This hatchway is made for small, life-supple drow bodies. Your shell scrapes.
Tilde, angle yourself 30 degrees to your left.
I'm gonna push with my foot down on your shell. 1 sec.
Smash Brothers taught me nothing. What I'm supposed to do is just tuck and drop down.
You can't do that as a turtle.
Yeah, there is an alarming lurch when your shell actually pops free through this hole. But you are able to get down the ladder.
I will let you go next, Jackson. I am worried.
Jax will
Really
carefully
should have
go
gone
down the
last.
stairs.
I don't know why I wasn't.
No, the people with the
extend
problem.
himself out a bit so his head's still practically up the stairs while his legs are all the way down.
Oh God, I'm just actually imagining those are folks just as like almost straight as a rail trying to go down
Wow.
just to fit.
Eventually, you'll manage to make your way down into what is really a very expensive room. You'd think this must actually run beneath the dugout pit, even. And within it are many, many pieces of scroll pinned to the wall, painted on. Looks like to be formulae in Saharan, of course, which you see and understand very clearly. Maybe not the actual formula themselves, because that's a whole level of complexity, but you can read the words. And most notably, he is heading towards... Oh?
It's a hole. It's a crater. He has a piece.
There you go.
Ah.
He heads over towards what is a much smaller forge. At least it looks like a forge. It's got the traditional opening at the front. There is coal piled up near it, but it doesn't look like it's been used in a while. And it has strange runework covering it. And as he nears it, he goes, he had a little help figuring this out, but figured it out nonetheless. I did. Yeah. And he reaches beneath a table that's next to this forge and pulls out a small little box, which he opens up very carefully and pulls out what looks like to be just a small ingot of a very familiar material.
Like an actual forged ingot.
An actual forged
It
ingot. Very.
Looks like the stuff the angel blades are made of, isn't it?
Yeah.
It looks like that colourful iridescent metal with the strange,
the rock.
the
That's
strange,
the rock.
the strange colours
Jax
that
is cocking an eyebrow at it.
that don't quite make sense to line mortal eyes. But yes, he holds up what looks like to be an actual smelted ingot. Maybe
That would be very hard to do.
it was
We could not even damage it or cut it.
it was very hard to do. It was very hard to do. I tried everything. I tried the hottest flames I could conjure up. I tried so many formulae. I tried dissolving. I tried everything I could think of. But it was cold. It was cold that it needed.
Should be cold.
Yes, and he actually places his hand against this forge, against one of these runes that's a light on it, and mutters an incantation. And suddenly the forge surges into life with blue flame. I had to define this spell work myself, but it is the coldest of flame. The pure burning lack of heat.
Gifton looks very amused all of a sudden.
Jax will actually be nodding his head.
The cold you will not find even in the furthest mountains that the stories speak of, that your kind speak of. He looks at you, Talday. There's no god like it in this world.
Unfortunately, I do not know any of those stories.
Well, not everyone knows every story. But all the same, it is this, as well as very careful treatment and very specialized tools.
It is a masterwork of magic, that forge.
It's
It is.
taken me 10 years to figure this out, but I have gotten it. And I know not what to do with it, but I can mold it. That is what you're here for, yes?
Yeah, learned how to do this, I think.
The knowledge on how to do this.
Yes.
We have found...
Has Shax ever seen the rock?
No,
Nope.
that's why he quirked an eyebrow at
That's
it.
why I quirked an eyebrow at the thing, because I'm the one who
Yeah.
doesn't know what the fuck this stone is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
'cause I haven't
appreciating
done-
the forge.
I
He doesn't know what that thing is.
We haven't unearthed it at my house
Yeah.
since
Yeah,
I
it's-
stoned it
yeah.
and doomed it.
Yeah, Shax is basically just appreciating, since he assumes that the thing's hard
forge,
to work
yeah.
from the sound of that, he's appreciating the work going into the forge.
I even had to seek out one of the sphinxes. I needed a little of her magic to make this work.
Mm.
By Helia's grace, you gave it.
And you willing to help us understand this?
To teach us.
I think it is what I am supposed to do.
Are we going to need to see the Sphinx?
I don't know. It depends. Will you be staying here to work with this?
No.
I do
do
not
not believe
believe
so.
we'll be able to. but
Then he actually frowns a little bit. I do not know if she will see you, but if not, I can give you the component that allowed for it.
Even a list of what we need could make it so it is easier for us to make.
Of course, yes. Yes.
And you'll be able to teach me this lovely rune combination of yours, yes?
Of course. This is the important part.
Fantastic.
There's much to teach. You will be staying a while, yes?
yes.
I believe so, yes.
Good.
Notably, Shax has dropped the blizzard networks
Yeah.
entirely. Like, he's just...
I figured.
Well, I mean,
Unfortunately, we're
Well, no, you
auto-translating.
can't because the
We're
translator is like
auto-translating.
auto.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
it was.
Yes.
It would be cool if, it just like it nulls
Just that
out.
moment of him losing it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's not paying any attention to it.
Tell me, the dreams say you come from a far land.
that is
It is
But
true.
you look like the people of our land. This is not what I expected.
Magic.
Yes.
To help us fit in.
So we did not alarm others
That is,
coming to visit.
I can show a little.
this is strange.
I look at the others. May I show a little?
I would like to see, but the guardians of this city, they would detect such masking magic.
It is something made by the one who created them herself.
She would be able to let it pass, yes.
Yes, unfortunately, it may be best for now
Okay.
not to, just to
He-
prevent issues.
He actually
but-
looks very disappointed when you say that. His eyes downcasting a bit.
Gifton also looks very disappointed.
But
If
at the
we
end, we
can
will
get
show
out of
you.
If we could
Rinson.
leave city limits, we could show him
Rinson.
Yes.
out of the
You do have the token that allows you to stay hidden, as it is.
It could be worth the attempt, I think, if everyone else believes it would be safe if I attempt.
It is worth a try.
Wait.
Yes.
And he actually moves back over the ladder and climbs up a bit to pull the trapdoor close behind him. For you see him put his hand up against it, mumble a few more things. You see a little line of light crisscrossing across the ceiling, hitting little symbols before he just slides back down the ladder. 29 Arcana. You want to know what that is?
I want to see if I know what it is.
Sanctum.
Yes, it's a sanctum-like spell.
Mhm.
Primitive sanctum.
Yes, it's quite drastically different from the one you know, but you expect that is same function. Please, you should all be hidden. Hey, I do not ask
believe
much to give you this knowledge, but
Yes, I believe that we could do this with the help of your spell there. I'm going to start by trying just to remove the amulet.
okay.
Does it work?
You, when you take the amulet off, you're still holding it.
Mhm.
It is still on.
Okay. Is there a table nearby?
Yes.
May I have use of your table for a moment?
Please.
I'm going to go and I'm going to put the amulet on the table and let it go.
Okay. As Carrick puts the amulet down on the table, his form shimmers. And once again, good old Carrick is standing before you. And his eyes actually widen a little bit. And he comes on over to you. You are the palest thing I have ever seen.
I am
Excellent.
going to
walk over
spread
next to
the
him,
wings a
coffee,
little bit since I
and-
have them again.
This is the exciting thing is the people who don't speak Zahan are gonna
Yeah.
have an exciting time
Yep.
to take this off.
Which, even those that speak to Sahar and Carrick, that was hard to understand.
Hard.
You can make it out, but
Do
No trick.
remember which ones are yours as well.
Just stand near yours where you put it down.
okay. Anyone else on taking his off?
Shax will walk over, calmly take his off, and sit on the table as well.
Oh, much like the little folk, but stuck here, no neck,
Dragonborn.
dragonborn, like those of the Morgai, yes.
Yes.
More guy.
I
Oh.
will hesitantly lift mine and then take it off.
When you do that, he looks a little perplexed, and he comes on over to you. That is the finest Hamlet I've ever seen. That is great.
Yeah, they probably don't have plate.
And he looks at you a bit more closely, and actually comes up to your face Day and goes, "This is not armor."
It is and it is not.
What are you?
I am
Careful.
this form.
He is my cousin.
You are the most beautiful person I've ever seen.
I thank you for the compliment.
And he steps back and he does look enraptured by Telday's form.
I'm sorry, Corvus, that everybody keeps hitting on everyone else.
No, it's fine. Corvus will unhook his amulet and put it on the table.
Another pale one. Oh, your poor ears.
Not one of those. Oh, he probably can't understand us.
Can you not speak Sahan?
Oh, I can. Yes, right.
Speak Sahan.
Not of the elven descent.
Yes, his and I share a they call human ancestry, although
Cassiopeia?
mine is more of a mix
Will you
than
to go first?
most.
Or do you want me to go first?
I don't know if it's safe for me to.
I mean, it's one of us is going to have to find out. And all right, I'll try first. You stay safe, okay? And if I can get past that, you can.
Presence.
Yes, but if he has very good boards, I'm certain of it. Yes, we will be safe.
Oh,
Right?
because of
Gifton will take her amulet off, hold it in her hand for a moment, and then crouch down and set it on the floor because she's gonna have a problem.
Yeah, he looks very curiously at you as you crouch down.
Put it on the floor.
Just wait. Get better.
Gifton's gonna flare her wings out at the same time.
Okay, so you let it go and you flare your wings out as you become very tiny.
Yep.
And he looks very startled by that for a moment, and quickly just crouches down and just crawls over to you, Gifton. And he, by the daughter, you are so small. What are you? I've heard of human before, but you...
I speak a very different word than you, but I am Fae. Do you know what Fae is?
What is this word she is saying?
It is Fae. She does not speak Saharan natively.
No, I speak Zaha.
Yeah, he's wondering the word Fae.
He's wondering what the Fae is.
What is Fae?
They are a
Race of wild magic users.
I'm trying to figure out the best way to describe, the Feywild that disconnect. To the GM, I know magic theory enough. What would be like?
They are often referred to as a border plane.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Fey come from a border plane called I believe Feywild is its name.
It's a land of the small.
No.
There's many types, so she is just one of the many races that populate it.
That is like the great creatures that here has help your city.
Yes.
There are big and there are small. I am small.
I understand. Well, you are remarkable.
Gifton will go. And Cassie would be of the big.
You are a big one. This is why you are a priestess?
Cass is nodding. And Cass is actually waiting for feathers to start showing up. And if they're not...
Gifton's going to flares her rings a few times and goes, it looks
there
safe.
Seems to be no sign of angelic invasion.
Holy light from above.
Gifton will tuck her wings back in.
Cass will take off her amulet.
And when you do that, he looks you up and down a few times, and then actually just sort of walks around to your side, Cass, as if to get a profile view.
Oh, you're something else.
Why are you so pale?
You are a horse lady.
Centaur.
Centaur.
Horse lady.
Centaur of what?
Wait, I can't understand him.
You cannot.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have.
She is.
The rest of you just hear him go, she's a horse lady.
Centaur.
Yes, Centaur.
This is much like the daughter does. Her goddess blessed her. Heavens, yes?
No,
This by the father.
Quite.
I don't believe so.
My
No.
people did that to her people.
The Fae have blessed her.
I wouldn't.
Looking between them and hearing this.
Yeah,
Something to that effect.
she's talking right now. She's talking completely in ancient Zahad or Zahad, not ancient Zahad, and she's going. Sometimes we do things as terrible jokes.
Yes, many of the Fae are tricksters, and some of their tricks are not of the helpful varieties.
I think it is. I think she's beautiful this way.
And he's looking you all over. And
how much space? How tall are we? How's this area?
this area is actually very tall. The ceiling's about 10 feet off the ground.
Okay, so not dragon size.
Yeah.
That's the bigger thing, because that was going to be the
Don't
next.
care.
That was if it's at the size. I'm not going.
Your
to
forms are remarkable, but your clothing, the style I've never seen. And we have received things from other lands.
It is a very far land.
Yes.
The far land, and
Very
should
different
Magic of a different
ideas
kind.
of clothing.
I've never seen metalwork like his, and I can see.
Are they
Corvus will
incredibly
will
intriguing?
also
Good.
Corvus will also roll down his sleeve and his arm to hide the metal. If you want me to do a sleight of hand, I will.
No, it's easy enough just pulling down a sleeve. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I never thought about this. Even for our idea of metalworking, is Telday's body like?
Telday is very advanced by even Barassian
Everyone
standards.
says
I think it's more just the plate mail. I mean, at first it was the plate, and then it was the idea of
And
this is not armor.
The Saharan Empire hasn't even come into steel yet.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I just was curious, even for us, if he was like advanced, even
Yes.
It's constantly getting the heebie-jeebs because iron.
He's definitely advanced internally. He has outer casing that is considered, it would be masterwork by a lot of standards.
Even our
really
land,
pretty.
he is
I'm really pretty.
Yeah, he's not mass produced. He's a special.
extraordinary work.
Craftsmanship.
I would like to ask, who is carrying a weapon at the hip or visibly?
Casses.
I have my
Corvus.
bow.
Jackson's pistol would be there.
My bow and
Oh,
my
no.
sword.
Yeah.
I
Which-
only have
Yeah.
the rapier because I have the
Yeah.
quiver of holding for all my Western
Yeah, which he is looking over these various things, and he actually motions at your rapier, Carrick. I see that.
Yes, and we're gonna draw it and
And
hand it over.
he takes it from you very gingerly, and you see him actually sort of very subtly, testing its strength, gripping it, seeing how much it flexes, and being a rapier, it actually has a little bit of give to it.
And it is also magical,
Yeah,
Yeah.
if that affects anything.
and he waves it about a bit and goes, "I've not seen metal like this, and I have seen
yes.
some strange metal," he says.
You would probably be more familiar with, and he's going to reach up his sleeve and pull the iron dagger that he still carries.
And
Probably more similar to this.
he takes that from you,
Kids are gonna love it.
and he looks at it and goes, "It's iron, yes.
Yes.
This is.
Gifton makes a noise at iron.
I've never seen its iron worked so well.
Are they a copper bronze society?
No, they are now Iron Age, but it is still heavy impurities.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So what is this door?
Which thing is he?
He's holding up the rapier.
I'm gonna sheath the dagger back up. Actually, we're gonna look over at Shax, kind of, and go. I believe it is called steel.
Something to that effect, yes.
And
Steel.
he's going to stare at you briefly before just holding it back out. And can all of you make me an intelligence check, please?
I need to keep modifying that. Add 2 to my roll, or add 1 to my roll. Sorry, so 10.
That plus 3.
Nope.
Well, It's just a little DM memory jog of something you've all heard in character. Any 10s or over, which I think Carrick meet the poor Gittin. She's too fixated on the iron. You remember Haya mentioning that at the time the Saharan society was the most advanced society on the planet.
Yes.
And he basically holds the rapier out to you and goes, "It is still. You've never heard of it."
It is preferable.
Like we said, from
Not
a
that
very
you haven't
far
heard
off
of it,
place.
it's just a preferable metal.
They say that
Like we had said-
sphinxes have pathways that are different.
It's maybe you're not thinking too hard about where we come from.
Yes. Also, tell Day it's from being a bard.
Then
Right.
may I ask one thing?
Yes.
Yes.
In exchange for my work, your distant land, am I known there?
Yes.
And he smiles at that and just gives his head a little bow. It's nice to know.
There is a reason that we came here to see you.
Yes.
It is most nice to know.
Your name.
Your
means,
work and knowledge was well praised.
Your name is a title in the future. Talal means scholar.
He actually looks briefly choked up.
Are we
There
doing
I
the
go.
Van Gogh thing with
Yes,
Doctor
Van
Who?
Gogh. Yes, Van Gogh the sky.
All right, I'm calling up Vale Nye.
That is...
Are you alright? I'm sorry, I make everyone cry. Why do I make everyone cry?
No, it is...
Because you are very good at bringing up happy thoughts.
It is good to know that my work means something.
It does.
It does.
Well, then I am sure that if you need my work for such a faraway land, it must be for something important. So,
I'll tell you, we were really
is.
considering putting you in a burlap sack and just carrying you home.
Again, she is Fae. That's kind of their thing.
I think...
Yeah.
Freak out.
I
Because
think...
we put simply, your work is going to help us save the
But
world.
he's also kind of handsome. I think I could sell care on it.
I think I would very dearly like to see your distant land, but I must do my work, yes?
You must.
Cass is pulling.
Stay on your path.
Cass is getting incredibly nervous at this point.
You want to put your
Just put it back on,
okay.
Cass.
Later, I'll put mine on too. Gifton actually looks a little sad about putting hers back on. All I do is wear things.
I think you're fine. I'm not.
The important thing is that you stay on your path
Well,
and you continue to do what you are doing.
I will keep that in mind. The forge, it is the most vital component. The metal is relatively easy to work once the correct spell work is in place, but the forge needs certain components to fuel it. I do not have many spares on hand, most of it, but we will... And he looks hesitant when he says that. You will have to go and collect some.
I believe.
If you can tell us what we need, we can find it.
I will make you a list and tell you where to go. You have the great worms where you come from, yes? The great worms.
Worms, as in, kind of spreads his wings.
No,
Like-
not
like-
not.
The
That's a-
purple worms?
Yeah, they are purple of color. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, they are. Oh, the.
We
Cass put her necklace back on?
Yeah, she
Yes.
did.
Okay.
And me and her were me and her were putting our
Yeah.
necklaces back on. We
Okay.
both did.
Also, have we ever known about purple worms?
You've
we saw
literally
that.
fought them.
At least once, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the ones in the
Yeah.
Yeah.
temple.
Yes.
The only way Biowise doesn't have a clue about them is Shaq.
Yeah.
Ah, Marvin.
Yeah.
You
Probably.
might know of them, because, I mean,
Yeah.
Them,
Yeah, they need a rapier check, I guess.
please, if you're yes,
so.
yes, you definitely know about them. You're quite familiar with their biology. In fact, it's required reading. He sort of
Hey,
gestures.
Goop Gems.
If you put your necklaces back on, we go up top.
Yes.
Corvus will.
I'm going
Yeah.
to put mine back on.
And he leads you back on out.
Would have
And
been easier if I was doing this after I climbed the ladder.
there's the other squeeze from below to get Tilde through.
Can you just put
We
yourself
probably got
back
cast
in it
behind
and
I was just having
Cass can
23
carry
strength.
you
I can just
in her
like
tentacles?
That just increases
That's not-
That
with-
seems a little more intimate than is probably best.
And
And
also, she won't be have as much. He's still very wide. That's the problem.
yes.
It's wedging.
Maybe I
shell is
should
wedging.
assist from below
We shove you up.
to help.
You could always
So-
just pop
Cast
you up there
easier
magically.
to do it.
And as you all manage to get out, in some way or another,
Is it block and tackle and pulleys and
you
I think
are.
that just makes it
He
worse.
actually leads you outside into this strange crater that his home is built in, and over to what looks like to be one of the walls is a bit more dishevelled. The ground disturbed, the dirt loose, and he actually just starts to thump his foot on the ground in a sort of rhythm.
No, you're supposed to walk without the rhythm.
Oh no, you must attract the worm, you see. And the ground does rumble before the wall side collapses as out emerges a purple worm, but it's definitely different than what you've seen. And Jackson,
it's softer looking.
it's nothing like the biology books that you've seen depict them as. This has eyes lining its side, going about a third of the way down the body, just sort of blinking, covered, seems to be double membraned. The maw is not quite as vicious looking. And yes, the whole thing is a little softer, less ridged. In fact, instead of the sort of strangely ridged body, it seems to have these little spikes that wiggle coming out at certain spots along its body, which a few more learned of you would recognise are a feature from other creatures that propel them through the dirt.
Oh,
Definitely
what a
cuter.
cutie! Hello.
And it actually just sort of wiggles its way over to Talal, who pets it, and it actually lets out a sort of trilling noise, not unlike your rust monster.
Big.
Oh, he sounds just like Squiggles.
It's
just medium-sized, large.
it's large sized, but more long than that would suggest.
Okay.
Perhaps about 15 feet long.
No, others are nothing like this.
Nothing like this.
Well, a bit like this, but no eyes.
Ah,
Much bigger.
It's
Larger
much
shadow.
bigger.
Is
Thicker.
what is I
But this
know
is so cutie. They
I
do the same
know-
thing, I bet. Oh,
I know you cast some magic down below. Is magic
is this magic
viewed
allowed?
okay here?
magic is allowed, but can cause alarm if unexpected.
Simple spells are okay.
Yes, you keep it to small little cantrips and the like. You'll be fine.
I'm going to minor to kind of
Are you depicting a purple worm?
yeah, the ones like we've seen.
Oh, I have not seen a beast quite like that. No.
Maybe from the environment they live in. It's a
But
very different environment than here.
Gori here, she is my precious. She is
Aw.
such a good girl, and was very vital in helping process the metal. Her fluids, the inner, the digestion, it helps treat it.
We're gonna have to have a purple worm as a pet.
Well, at the very least, one on hand to get its gastric juices.
I'm sure we can work something out. I
I
think we know a nice couple that might help us if
But
we
I-
approach appropriately.
I do not know if your kind still do that.
purple worms as.
I guess we
Would
know
the
that
They
they're
are wild
poop.
creatures in the land that we are
Gemstones.
from, and that they process the things they get in the dirt and have nests made of gemstones and the like. Yes, and things.
The wild ones here, they do much the same. Nicely easily tamed, though.
Maybe we can get. How big are they when they are young? Maybe we can rear one.
They are quite small when they are young. You could carry one in your arms very easily.
Oh,
Now imagining Gifted packing squiggles in one arm.
Their
Worm under the other arm.
their legs. He sort of motions, and it's. He seems to gesture about the size of a large grapefruit, perhaps.
Oh, wow.
and how fast do they begin?
Oh well, this girl here, she is only 8 years old.
Oh,
No.
that would be perfect. We would get a little one.
They know of some breeders within the city. If you wish to acquire some to take with you.
May not be a bad idea.
That might be a good idea. That might be a good idea.
How much?
How
We
much?
have to find out from the breeders.
Yes, I tamed my own.
No, from the breeders. How much?
I would not know. I did not buy her.
Oh, you tamed your.
If,
My
You
apologies.
could do the same if you so wish. Find one to nest in the wild. And the goddess would not frown upon it as long as you will take good care.
I believe that could also be arranged. Are they difficult to find?
Not exactly. You look for the rockier areas, outcroppings. You can tend to see signs of their passage.
Is it the right season for it, though?
Well, all seasons are the right season.
This is hay, yes.
They are
I am used to different rules.
of the daughter.
Let's see. I can get some of the other supplies.
Question, if you don't mind.
Yes.
You were a bit hesitant about getting things. Is there bigger issues at play?
I think he is trying to ascertain his thoughts of what all needs to be regathered. This is something he's been doing alone for quite a while, 10 years.
And and he actually looks very embarrassed at this point. You are the most company I have had in some time, and I do not like going into the city. And lots of people make me feel not good.
If you let us know, we could go in to acquire them.
I
think he is saying he is going to miss us when we are gone.
somewhat, but I do not like the crowds, you see. But I
The
can
clouds.
I can do it though.
Crowds.
Crowds.
We can go into the city for you. You do not need that. We can visit with you.
Then I would like that. That's the biggest thing though. If you wish to obtain the spark from the Sphinx, you have to go to her temple.
Which we're scheduled to go to already. Looking at Cass.
Not that Sphinx.
Yeah.
No, the temple in here, it is just a place of worship. There are no sphinxes in our temple here. What's that, Cass?
Cass is stuttering. We've happened to meet one, so I think we will be fine.
You have met, is it Tan?
No.
No. Another.
If you have that Sphinx's favor, then she will happily gift it to you. It took a lot of...
What is it that you are gifted?
When I went to Isatan's temple, I waited outside for many a day, begging. She brought out a little piece of fabric that she had woven her thread through.
thread?
Yes, it is part of her the furling, but it is more than that. It is also the essence of what they are. She called it the thread of time.
Oh.
Hmm.
I offered to bring it back into her once I was done, but she said it would unravel.
That does make sense.
So we would need to get one ourselves.
Yes, I'll take mine. I would like to keep it and continue my work, but if she does not wish to give it to you,
keep it.
Yes.
Yes.
You will keep it. It is yours.
We will figure out our way.
Yes.
Mainly, we don't want to take the thing that makes him what he will be in the future.
I don't think it will make him what he will be in the future.
I don't think it's
Yeah.
just that.
May I ask, though?
but yes, please. What?
When you go out of your craft many years from now, you probably will one day retire and grow old. Do you think you will hide it someplace?
Hide it. I would imagine I would give it to my sons or daughters, to those that wish to carry on.
Yes, and something like this, it would carry on.
But
Which is something to think about.
perhaps. I don't think
I
I
hope you
will.
have many sons and daughters.
It would be nice, but well, who would like me?
Oh, I would.
Many
And they
would.
give a little bit of a shoulder bump.
To find the right catch.
Maybe one day. But if I were to leave it anywhere, it would be here. I love this city. I do not see myself leaving it.
Did we ever catch the name of the city out of character?
No.
I wouldn't be surprised if the city that this is in is probably underneath the sheet of fucking glass.
It's under the sheet of glass.
No, it.
No, the only thing in that glass area, as you guys went there on the previous campaign, was literally Achilles' Temple.
Sphinx.
Well, okay.
In fact, you all are aware that the main Heian capital is within that goddamn eternally twirling sandstorm within the center of the continent.
Okay, no, there was a twirling sandstone in the center of the continent.
And that's your memory.
Mhm.
We will have to get going on this. If you give us the list of things to get in town, we can do that.
Of course.
Yes.
Do you wish some company out here while you work and get things together? Maybe you can start explaining to Shaksan about the formula. I am not trained in such things.
I will explain to any who wish to learn.
I would also like to
And it's
believe it is.
and do not doubt your ability. Anyone can learn. This I dearly believe. It is the mark of a bad teacher if they cannot teach.
You are a kind man.
I think we've already learned why your name becomes their word for scholar.
What is to become will become. But for now, we focus on the present and we do what must be done. I will get the list and, well, it will take a few days to go over the basics at the very least. How long do you have?
As much as we need.
As long as
Until we go back to Aquila, I think.
I
yes.
see.
I don't know how we're supposed to do that.
I don't either.
I guess back at the temple, I have a feeling.
It will be kind of self-guiding.
Yes.
I don't have your faith in the situation.
Okay.
Faith.
We will figure it out.
Their ways are mysterious, but if you're meant to return, I'm sure you will.
Hmm.
But,
Maybe it is when we have done what we need to do here. So, for now, you have us for as long as you need us, I think.
Yes. Perhaps those that wish to acquire the eggs can go and inquire. Those that wish to learn, we can start.
I have one other question to ask you, Talal. We are very woefully unprepared for your culture and your people. We have a very basic knowledge of Hea and her kindness. But my dear sweet friend here is trussed up like a priestess, and people have been asking her for blessings, and we have concerns. Because we do not wish to do bad things.
Oh, you don't know how to grant it.
No, and I have prepared
She kissed somebody on the forehead, and it was very sweet, but they did not seem to think that was the right thing.
No, that is not how this is done. Okay, for the sake of your masquerade, perhaps.
Do you have a Heian 101 pamphlet?
I'm afraid I do not, but most of us have seen the blessings happen. Please, and Cassie will actually come over to you, and we'll start guiding you through the steps. There is a small prayer given to Hea, and you actually got it nearly right with the wishing of, bounty and so on. But he actually takes your hands and places them over your stomach, and then presses his on top of them. This is for the ladies that require the blessing. For the men that require the blessing. He touches you elsewhere.
Oh my.
Oh my.
He actually
Grab
touches
your
your
guinea
chest, where the Saharans believe that the heart of virility lies.
That's not entirely inaccurate.
Stick on the tentacle, grab it, give it a bit of a shake.
He just grabs the tentacles, like, there we go.
For those that possess both kinds, evil is acceptable. It depends on whether they wish to be the sire or the mother.
Mm-hmm. Though we have the problem of I'm expected at the temple tomorrow.
That is your problem. I cannot help you. You jumped into the river.
You jumped in the river.
I have a
It was
feeling.
a matter of time before I was found out.
I have a feeling between the group of us that can be taken care of without causing problems with everything that needs to be collected and taught and such.
Frankly, if you are expected at the temple, you have met other priestesses?
There were
Yes.
2 or 3.
Two.
There are 2, and they're interesting guards. I have never seen people like that before.
They are common. There are many blessed like that. The priestesses, the guards, the weavers.
This is my first trip
The
to Zaha.
weavers?
Yes, the weavers.
This is my first trip to these lands, and it is very different for me.
What are the weavers? Do not believe I have.
They are those that keep us clothed and warm.
I am a weaver.
You're a weaver?
Yes, I make clothes.
Well, the weavers, the blessed ones, they have the body to help them. The craft, they produce the silk.
Oh, they are little, like me.
No, they're quite large.
Riders?
Rider, what is this word?
Where we come from.
Do they have many legs?
As striders.
Oh yes, it's legs.
Yeah, they're dredgers.
Spider people.
Yes, much like a spider. Yes.
Cat people and spider people.
This is fine.
Gifton's eyes are looking a lot more panicked.
They are not spiders though. They are like us.
They are just differently capable.
Yes.
Wait, is that what riders are? Oh, I've been making a lot of rider silk stuff. They're all in.
I have a feeling that.
Do you get the heebie-jeebies of like rider silk?
Mother comes.
If you are able to reveal yourself, perhaps you would go meet them. They are always happy to teach their craft.
I think that I probably should avoid talking to strangers.
Nonsense. We are a friendly city.
I was told to be very careful with what I do.
I do not see the point of visiting a distant land if you cannot talk to people.
I mean,
we can't provide influence outside of just conversation.
but seeing
I do not know how this all works, but you are afraid of your influence affecting your land, yes?
yes,
Yes.
Correct.
You need,
Not just, but yes.
you need not tell them things. You need only ask and listen.
he does have a point.
Peace. And he actually comes over to you, Gifton, and takes up your hands. And you can actually feel them trembling a little bit as he does. I am scared to talk to most people. Don't waste it if you can.
She's gonna look at him very sympathetically and then just kind of lean in and try and give him a hug.
You feel him tense a little bit, as if someone that's not used to being hugged. And then he gives you the sort of very awkward hug in return.
That's what Gifton always gets.
Mm-hmm. She hugs a lot of people that aren't huggers.
You hug
90% of the people I hug don't want me to hug them,
Uh-huh.
and you get that kind of like resigned. Yeah, you don't want the hug, you know.
I mean, most of the people you hug don't understand what hug is.
Or
It's because she believes those are the kind of people that need the hugs the most.
Hug the most. I mean, I won't argue that that's correct. But
Don't worry about me. I will be fine.
No. You will go. You will meet the Weavers, and you will tell me what they say. I am not as landing as many as I would please.
We have many things to do. I do not need to sidetrack. We will get things done.
Nonsense.
Alright,
In
we
fact,
must
on this
find
list is, and he actually picks up a piece of paper and just starts scribbling on it with what looks like to be chalk or charcoal.
Charcoal.
On this list, I am in need of dried silk, and I fear they will not deal with most people other than you.
No, I'm pretty sure that Cassiopeia is quite
The finest
with
dye
those
of the
people.
silk that only a weaver's eye would be able to discern. Yes, that is what I need.
I believe, as I have often put for you, my friend, that I do not believe you will win this one. You may want to just do as he recommends.
We will get our jobs done, my son. Do not worry about it.
He actually looks between the both of you when you say that, looking fairly alarmed, and just does the sort of thing of like gesturing for
Oh, yeah.
Gifton's height.
I'm just going to go. It is very common for my people when we find an unattended child to decide we are a parent.
Oh, this is very common amongst my kind as well.
And I consider Herrick to be one of the most unattended young boys that I have ever met.
Then perhaps you can take your son with you. And please, if you are scared of the many legs, they are not common. Most of them are just like you and me.
I have not seen very many. It is just when you are, and she motions at her size. Everything is much more scary.
You have nothing to fear in the city.
I know. I have the amulet. I am fine.
Even without the amulet, you'll be okay.
I mean,
No, I would not.
we've seen that falling in the river is fine. You get saved by the cleaning ones.
Oh yes, the morale. They're quite the sight.
They are.
I really wish I could. They will not let me have one.
Oh God!
Oh,
we
do you like to have pets too? I have a rust monster back home named Squiggles, and he likes to eat the shavings of the metal. Do you have things like that here? Do you have little creatures that eat the metal?
No metal eaters, but he actually moves over to one of the tables where there is a large jar on top of it, which he reaches into, and you can hear the sloshing of liquid.
Oh, okay.
And suddenly he just pulls out what looks very much like an octopus. Just this sort of wet, squishy thing, the same kind of black tentacles that you see on many hand creatures, and just this large stalked eye on top. This here is my little friend. This is Uff.
Oof.
And Uff, he helps me with many matters, and he actually holds Uff up to his face. And Uff just sort of gently squidges on with the tentacles, playing over his face, and then settles over one of his eyes. Tentacles
Corvus
just
cocks ahead.
gripping at his skin, and you see, Talal just wince slightly. It's like a gentle little friend. And then the stalk starts to move about. There we go. Yeah, this lets me see very, very fine little things.
Oh wow, this is quite amazing. It is like it is connected to you.
Yes. He takes a little of my blood. Very little. It would not harm you even if you left him on all the time. But he lets me see.
Oh, he is kind of adorable.
Yes, he is. He is a
Why
fine
didn't
little
you
man.
have something like that?
It's a bit different, but it is fascinating.
Do many have little friends like Oof there?
Oh, yes. Not all like Uff exactly. Different purposes, but yes.
No, Neela, she had one that
Naima?
she had one that took the gemstones into it, flashed a series of colors, and gave an appraisal, I presume.
Yes, they are so expensive. They're very rare to find. Mostly bred within the cities, but I wish I could afford one. It would make my work so much easier. Finding the right purity of gems. I mean, my friend out there, she brings me many, but
Cassiopeia.
Yeah, I know where this is going.
You know, there is a very talented and underpaid, brilliant man who could spend somebody's diamond.
There is also a very brilliant man who needs Strider silk.
Yes, but that is a separate problem. I'm just saying that, you know, if you wanted to invest in the future of a beautiful country like this, Cassiopeia.
Oh, this is not where I thought this was going. Okay.
Fund one of the greatest minds this country ever knows.
no, my friends, it's no need to talk about such matters. Please, you've come here as guests, and there's no need to spend on me.
Oh,
I thought we were setting up a
we always thought our friends.
Yes.
And,
Besides, they are fairly expensive.
We
Oh,
can.
you'd be surprised.
We can.
I don't
see
think Cassie
into-
can actually change this diamond out anywhere.
I will be able to afford one day. It is many gold pieces, but well,
How many?
I've seen them go to 600-700 gold pieces easily. It's
We can
not something most can afford.
worry about that after we get everything situated.
Yeah, since we are certain of what everything is, because I do not believe we can take the coinage that we have with us. It would not be useful to us.
Slow turn. Dead with the look.
Yeah, whatever the matter.
Creaking.
I would like to at least take a little bit.
Well, souvenir amounts, of course,
Yes.
my dear son. But I'm saying the vast amount of it is not going to be needed.
Yes, but we should get everything.
People will think we are using crazy money if we go back with this. I mean, what is the symbols? Everything changes.
Unfortunately, my actual family seems to have
Your
least on that
actual
one.
family causes enough problems, yes. All right, well, who's staying here and who is going where?
And yeah, look, he finishes writing on the parchment, and in the he sort of offers up the parchment, basically just out in the general direction of the group, sort of looking at who will take it. They have
reach out and grab it.
okay. He goes, I have listed the ingredients in the hard to getness, you know, the harder ones at the top.
Low hanging fruit at the bottom.
Yes, and
how is there associated prices?
mostly butter.
Barter.
And you look over this Corvus, and you're not the most magically trained, but you do recognize a few things that you know are magical reagents, like ruby dust.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the magic users in the party would probably recognize a whole lot more of them.
Jax will lean over and give it a glance.
Shax, you look at the list, and you sort of have to do a double take on it, as he's listing all these rare ingredients and such, and you can get just about all of these, like, in most cities, pretty easily, back home at least. And you're pretty sure even Brass, you'd be able to walk into most magical little stores and get all of this.
Is, if you end up saying what most of those things are, if it's anything on gift and spell list, I actually have the reagents in case I have to cast things.
Almost
I will say Jax is also actually, since he's reading over the thing and it said actually has pulled out of his bag his spell shard, like his normal one, and he's just quietly reciting it to the shard.
Show off in front of him like that.
It's such things as 20 grams of ruby dust, 5 ounces of blood of the Morgai, a unicorn hair.
Right here.
We got a dragon.
Unicorn hair's problem.
It's
Unicorn
hair's the first problem we ran into.
No, unicorn hair's easy. You just open a portal near what was the one?
Actually, fuck! I can go to get a unicorn hair right now, you guys.
Yeah, you've got an 8.
Yeah, I still logistically exist right now.
Well, no, I can't use the name, but I can plane shift there, go get some, come back.
the only things that are a little unusual or hard to get in your modern age are there's a listing of 5 inches of electrum plating.
What's this electrum? I heard this before in the city.
Is electrum a known thing at our time?
It's known, but it's not regarded as any use for anything.
So
it's something Shax knows how to make, at least, more than likely.
Okay.
Yes.
Isn't it an alloy?
It's silver and gold. It's just most magical formula by your point in time just doesn't bother with it.
You
don't remember what?
I decided, do we have an actual list? Like, one to be
no, because it is literally something that you guys can easily get everything on this. It is a pointless list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
the big thing that is of concern to you is in fact this thread of time that he speaks of and the purple worm bile, essentially.
Yeah. That's the big ones.
The incantations, the spell formula will take me a little longer to write out, but it will be teaching to you anyway.
Extra unicorn hair, would that help?
The unicorn hair always helps. It is useful for so many things.
No, what he sees is that all the spellcasters just start pulling out all of the reagents. We're done.
I am pulling out 2,000 gold worth of ruby dust. All right, I have the ruby dust at least.
His eyes widen a little bit.
Ruby dust.
Sir, is there diamond dust on there?
Oh yeah, I've got a lot of diamond dust.
Yeah, here's the diamond dust.
Wait, how do you have so much?
I am a spellcaster. I do many things.
We come from a very far away, interesting place.
It is blessed.
Well, I do not need it myself, although I suppose we could do small builds.
The extra.
How about I leave you some for your research? That would be fine. Yes, exchange.
I would not refuse.
All right. I will leave you some diamond dust and ruby dust to play with.
Thank you. Well,
Oh, here's some silver dust as well.
The silver powder is very useful.
But that is everything then, except the women. So it will be mostly teaching. In that case, I guess it is time for me to teach. Alright, you still need to acquire the important dried silk. Yes.
We need to get a purple worm in town. Yes.
And the dried silk.
Yes.
Yes.
It may not be a bad idea to. Sorry, it may not be a bad idea to talk to the Sphinx as well here.
I do not
Just
think
in
there
case.
is one here. He said it is just
There is a temple to pray to.
Yes.
We have to travel somewhere to get to another sphinx.
How far away is that one?
The one you spoke of, or the one I spoke of?
The one you spoke of.
She is. It took me about a week to get there on camelback.
That might be too far, yes.
Do you know how far the one we spoke of is from here?
Kila's temple. I think she is only a few days away. About 4 maybe? But she is notoriously non-communicative.
The thing is that we're going to learn how to do this. We're going to see Aquila when we
Leave. Yes.
leave.
We'll talk
We
about it.
can-
We do not know if Aquila will be able to, at that juncture, make it.
That is right.
Or it will survive.
Gifton is going to put a hand very firmly on the hilt of her blade. I promise you, my friends, we will have this cloth. We will hopefully get this.
Someone please go with her. Oh, okay, the cloth for the thread. Okay, but you were speaking of the riders.
No.
Oh, I know what you're doing.
I just put my hand on the hilt of the luck blade for the rest of the party. I
Yes.
promise you. I
we
promise you, I will make sure that we get this cloth.
Yes, but yes, Gifton,
It is a very expensive thing, but I would do it.
I think it may be a good idea for you to maybe learn a little of how the clothes are made here from the Driders. You always are interested in new methods.
You a very speculative thing because you just went off the Sphinx cloth back to the traders.
It's because we've been trying to get you to go to them.
I need to go shopping in town. Who is staying here for long?
Gifton.
I am staying to learn.
Trixie.
Yes.
Devil's advocate here. Be careful with that as a last resort. I don't know if that will draw any attentions.
I do not believe she.
I would prefer not to use it at all if it is alright. I have very selfish reasons. for it.
Silence is very readily the answer. He says, not understanding the importance.
Yeah.
I am afraid, my friend, that you do not understand. This is not a weapon of violence. It is a weapon of
Desire.
possibility.
Hey, same word.
Yeah.
It is a weapon of possibility. I have very few uses left of it, and it could grant us what we wish at great cost for myself.
What is it? A shin's blade? As if. You see him, he's trying to pull this thing off his face and he's just going, come, and that is enough. Let go.
It is actually the shin blade, yes.
Oh. Okay. Right. Well, and he leans over the little pot again, and you see him actually putting his hand in the pot and just going, look, splishy, 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 come on. And it slowly releases his face and crawls back into the water.
We do not really understand what they are, but I understand they are coming on your continent. What do they do?
What do?
The jinn?
Oh, the jinn. They are mischief makers, in my opinion. They
like my people.
I don't know. What do people make mischief?
Yes.
They wield great power. They are not of my goddess's creation. They are native, all the same. They come.
So, carrying around a bottle of one is bad?
It is risky. Some try and imprison them, but it never goes well.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm glad no one would imprison one. That would be so cruel to put a poor thing in a bottle.
They will offer you your heart's
People try to
desire.
do that with my people. They will put us in cages and such and sell us.
They are also often sold. They come in many type. There are the Shin of the air, the Shin of the Shin of the fire, Shin of the sort of the woods, the glass.
Ah, the grass, yes. They
Corvus
sound very much like my
reaches
people in a
in.
strange way. But
So,
yes, I can cast the
there's
same
something
sort of
in
magic
here?
that this blade can do, because it is within my ability, but it may hurt me very badly to do it, so I do not
Okay.
cast it. What is going on, I'm sorry, Ulgar.
Ulga. Yeah.
Yes.
I actually did not know what this was.
Oh no, Corvus.
Wait, what do you mean? What was?
One fire at a time.
All right, well, we gotta handle that.
Putting
when we
that
get
back in the
home.
bag.
Put that back away.
Oh, please take that from my home. That is
We are letting that free somewhere else that is very not here.
Yes, very much so.
Oh,
You are
maybe
very strange people.
oh yes,
We are-
but at least you will have fond memories of us. Yes, it is very important that you maybe not mention our names directly to anybody. That would be great.
As I think I understand.
As much as I would love to go to do the shopping, I believe
Okay,
I may
so
need to stay here also and learn.
I guess I will go do all the shopping then. Goodbye, people who are learning things.
I'm motioning at the rest of the party because there's only two of us that we're learning.
Yes. Who is staying and who is going?
Cass is going.
Corvus
Cass
is going.
shopping.
Gifton's going.
Yeah. What about Telday? You staying or going, Telday?
Tour day.
Tour day.
Tour day.
Hot damn.
Hat down.
Just a sec.
Apologies. I just
Oh, that's all.
kind of lost things for a moment there.
Oops.
Well, Telday, did you wish to stay and learn here with this man, or did you want to go into the city with Corvus, Gifton, and Cassie?
I will actually go into the city.
Okay,
That
dokie.
way you can get more food.
So, Jackson and Carrick, you remain behind, prepared to learn these various techniques from this man required. Something that he said will take a few days to teach. But immediately you begin with some very basics. The rest of you leave his abode to go into the city, wandering back towards the center. And I think that is where we will leave it this week.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, right. Everybody take that nice little tasty 3000 XP,
Yeah.
and we will do this same time next week.